In the infected ground, a decade after the apocalypse, a guy was fighting with a monster, and he cursed as he declared that it was no common wave of the dead as there was a level 8 butcher zombie. His name was Yang Fan, a 7th level blade berserker, and as he blocked the monster's attack, he called Kingsu, the girl who was with him, and urged that she should get out of there. Yang Fan screamed in pain as the monster kicked him. Kingsu called Yang Fan with worry when she saw that he was lying on the ground and the monster was about to swing its blade at him. Suddenly, Kingsu ran and stood in between the monster and Yang Fan. The monster swung its blade, and Kingsu protected Yang Fan from it. Yang Fan was horrified when he saw what Kingsu did, and her blood was spurting in front of him. He screamed and grieved as he held the bloody Kingsu in front of him. Yang Fan was enraged, so he quickly grabbed his blade and charged at the monster while calling it a bastard. He swung his blade and shouted that the monster should go to hell. Yang Fan managed to decapitate the monster, and it dropped a crystal when he sent its head flying. He immediately went and grabbed the crystal. While Kingsu was losing her consciousness, she saw the horrified Yang Fan, who urged that she should hang in there because he would find the renascent holy water to save her. A few moments later, Yang Fan was carrying Kingsu on his back, and he was walking towards the 3rd base of Sky Wheel. When he entered the base, Yang Fan was surprised when he saw 2 people kissing. It was Zhao Yunrong, Yang Fan's girlfriend, and Xiao Ao, the chief of the 3rd base, and the 2 of them were startled when Yang Fan questioned them what they were doing. Zhao Yunrong looked puzzled when she saw Yang Fan, while Xiao Ao was surprised and remarked that he didn't think that Yang Fan could escape from that level 8 butcher zombie. Yang Fan was astonished, and he asked Xiao Ao how he knew there was a level 8 butcher zombie. Kingsu suddenly groaned in pain, which startled Yang Fan. Yang Fan stated that they should talk about it later and that Xiao Ao should give him the renascent holy water to save his little sister, Kingsu. Xiao Ao retorted Yang Fan could only wish because the renascent holy water is worth over 1,000 blue crystals, and he asked Yang Fan why he would give it to save his sister. Yang Fan grabbed something from his pocket and declared that he would exchange the renascent holy water for it. He showed Xiao Ao a ring and claimed the ring was the reason why he was invincible at his level, and with that, Xiao Ao could be the same, and if he reaches the top level, he will dominate all. Looking at the ring, Xiao Ao exclaimed that it was a surprise that the legendary ring would finally be his, and he asserted that it was not bad, but he would just collect the ring after Yang Fan died so he wouldn't need to waste the renascent holy water on his sister. Xiao Ao sneered that it was a pity that such a pretty girl would become a zombie. Yang Fan was enraged, and he called Xiao Ao a bastard. He gently placed Kingsu on the ground and let her lean against the wall. Yang Fan quickly grabbed his blade and roared that Xiao Ao should go to die. But as he swung his blade, Xiao Ao was able to dodge it and summon a dark energy in his hand. Yang Fan screamed in pain when Xiao Ao threw the dark flames at him, and he got hit with them. Looking down on Yang Fan, who was burning and lying on the ground, Xiao Ao taunted Yang Fan trash, and he asked him if he really believed that he could defeat him with severe injuries. Xiao Ao began to pry Yang Fan's fingers open to grab the ring, and he demanded that Yang Fan should let him see what that legendary ring could do. But Yang Fan still had the strength to pull his hands away from Xiao Ao, and he proclaimed that there was no way he would let him. Yang Fan quickly popped the ring in his mouth and swallowed it. But Xiao Ao just grinned sinisterly, and he asked Yang Fan if he truly thought that he could stop him by swallowing it. Xiao Ao grabbed Yang Fan's blade, and as he used it to cut Yang Fan's stomach open, he sneered that he would gut him first and get it himself. The ring was found after Xiao Ao created a huge hole in Yang Fan's stomach, but it suddenly emitted a golden energy that swirled around it. As the golden energy intensified and blinded them, Xiao Ao wondered what was going on. Suddenly, time reset was activated. Yang Fan jerked awake. At the Comeback Soon Hotel, Donglai University, Yang Fan suddenly sat up from the bed and asked if he was in heaven. Looking around, Yang Fan inquired why he was still alive, if that was a hotel, and if he was dreaming. He pinched his cheeks, and when he felt pain, he exclaimed that it was not a dream, and so he questioned himself if he was reborn. Yang Fan realized what that place would be, and he was startled when he looked to his side. He saw Zhao Yunrong sleeping while only wearing underwear beside him, and he recalled that she just agreed to be his girlfriend, and it was their first time. But he never mentioned that 10 years later, she would betray him with the scum, Xiao Ao, when he had given her all his crystal cores. Looking intently at Zhao Yunrong, Yang Fan is wondering if he should kill her or thank her. Yang Fan declared that he was not going to give Zhao Yunrong another chance because, if he remembers correctly, the devastating virus will break out in 3 hours, and since she will betray him sooner or later, he will end it there. He vowed that in that life, he wouldn't waste his energy on trash anymore. Yang Fan looked enraged, and he asserted that for those who hurt him, none of them would be spared. Suddenly, someone kicked the door open, and he announced that it was a raid, so they should open the door. There were 2 threatening men, and one of them proclaimed that they were indeed there. When Zhao Yunrong woke up, she was startled when she saw the men by the door, and one of them questioned her for daring when Mr. Long bought luxurious bags and jewelry for her. But she was sleeping with another guy, and as he interrogated her who she could do that to Mr. Long, he threatened that he was going to break Yang Fan's legs and penis. She asked Yang Fan who they were and expressed that she was so afraid. But Yang Fan only responded that she was a witch who was a bad actress, and he wondered how he had failed to notice it before. One of the men swung his bat at Yang Fan and questioned him for daring to take Mr. Long's woman. He declared that Yang Fan should die, but Yang Fan was able to dodge his attack and taunted that he was too slow. The man was startled when he saw that Yang Fan was able to quickly get behind him, and Yang Fan mocked that he had such slow speed. Yang Fan grabbed the man by the back of his head. He smashed the man's head against the wall and proclaimed that in the apocalypse, he would definitely be killed. The other man was taken aback, and he exclaimed that Yang Fan was so strong while Zhao Yunrong was watching the fight, and she wondered when Yang Fan became so strong. Yang Fan turned to the other man and declared that it was his turn. He punched the man in the face, and he revealed that in his previous life, the 2 scums injured him and nearly got him eaten by zombies, and because of them, he lost his chance to build strength in the early stages, and he proclaimed that it was time to collect the interest. As the man crashed on the floor, Yang Fan announced that they should experience the cruelty of the apocalypse with their wounded bodies. Yang Fan was about to walk out of the room when Zhao Yunrong asked him where he was going and if he didn't want her anymore when they just did it last night. Looking at Zhao Yunrong, Yang Fan commanded that she should stop disgusting him because he knew that she had at least 5 men in that city, and he recounted that in his previous life, over the past 10 years, he had cleaned up the mess for Zhao Yunrong countless times just because he believed that she would change her mind, but a dog would always return to its vomit. Yang Fan grabbed his clothes. As he walked out the door, Zhao Yunrong wondered how the simp knew about that when he used to think that she was a pure maiden, and when she cursed in her mind, she pondered what bullshit the bastard was talking about and if he just slept with her and wanted to ditch her right after it. When Yang Fan got out, he questioned why the sky was suddenly so dark, and when he realized what it was, he exclaimed that it was the seed of darkness. Yang Fan was immediately alarmed, and he declared that the apocalypse came early. He quickly pulled out his phone and stated that he had to warn Kingsu quickly. Young Kingsu's full name, was drying her hair in the bathroom when her phone began to ring, and she saw that it was Yang Fan calling. When she picked up the phone, she immediately questioned Yang Fan what was up, and she laughed when she inquired if he missed his kind and pretty little sister. Without answering Young Kingsu's questions, Yang Fan urgently informed that she should listen because the world is about to become like her favorite horror zombie movie. Looking at the gloomy environment, Yang Fan advised Young Kingsu to stay calm and lock the doors and windows until he comes to her. Young Kingsu got worried, but she still inquired if he was kidding her and how that was possible. Yang Fan insisted that Yang Kingsu should do what he was saying or else it will be too late, and when Yang Kingsu went to close her window, she saw the people outside, and she exclaimed her surprise as she questioned if those were zombies and if they were eating people. Yang Fan tried to respond to Yang Kingsu, but the call was cut off, which made him panic. Looking at his phone, Yang Fan looked anxious, and he declared that it looked like the comm center had fallen. Yang Fan explained that at the beginning of the last apocalypse, the place where his parents stayed was safe, but his sister was in danger, so he needed to find her first. When he noticed that his ring lit up, Yang Fan immediately announced that it sensed a dealer nearby, which is part of the power of that ring, and it was the reason why he would always find the dealer before anyone else in his previous life. Yang Fan looked pleased, and he remarked that he was lucky. A few moments later, Yang Fan arrived at the quality showers. Yang Fan reported that the energy the ring sensed was coming from a women's shower room on the campus. When he entered the bathroom, Yang Fan observed that it looked like the women's shower was about the same as the men's, but he was surprised when he noticed that someone was sitting in front of him. When the person turned to face Yang Fan, he saw that she was already a zombie. She growled as she charged towards Yang Fan, but despite the situation, Yang Fan was calm, and he commented that she has a nice body. Yang Fan broke the emergency glass behind him and asserted that it wouldn't earn her mercy. He quickly grabbed the axe inside the emergency glass. Yang Fan swung the axe, and as he decapitated the zombie, he proclaimed that only dead zombies have values. He crouched down to grab the crystal from the zombie's head, and he noted that he can't pass anything up, not even the least valuable gray crystals, and they could be a little helpful anyway as he has to improve his strength fast to protect his family in the apocalypse. Suddenly, Yang Fan was blinded by the light when the dealer in gray appeared, and when Yang Fan saw him, he exclaimed that he had finally found the dealer. Yang Fan recounted that in his previous life, he met his first dealer 3 months later in the apocalypse, so he didn't think that he would meet one so soon. When the apocalypse came, a mysterious race called dealers appeared, and from low to high, they are divided into 9 levels: gray, white, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple, and they trade with people and provide a variety of evolutive potions and special equipment. Young Fan was startled when he got transported into a space filled with voids, with the dealer in gray in front of him, and the transaction began. As multiple glowing cards started surrounding him, Young Fan explained that, just like in the last apocalypse, one could approach them and begin a transaction once they had a crystal core on them. Looking at the items, Young Fan observed that the ring still gets him discounts. As he stood in front of a gun item card, which originally cost 800 gray crystals, but has a discounted ring price of 320 gray crystals, Young Fan noted that the ring could refresh the dealer's items once a week, and there's a good chance that a rare card will show up, so it would be great if the ring still has that amazing function. He decided that he would try, and he pointed his ring in front of the item cards, and it began to shine its light. Suddenly, a card containing a hammer appeared, and Young Fan was astonished. It was an artisan card that cost 1,500 gray crystals, but had a discounted price of 600 crystals, and Young Fan expressed that it was great that he got it. Young Fan was transported back to the bathroom when the transaction was completed. Young Fan scratched his head and lamented that he didn't have enough crystals to buy an evolutive potion, even with a discount, so he had to improve his strength fast to get an upper hand in the apocalypse. Suddenly, someone screamed behind a closed door, and it caught Young Fan's attention. Young Fan took a peek, and he observed that someone was in there when he saw that a zombie was walking towards 2 ladies, and the blue-haired one was holding a knife as she asked what the hell was going on and demanded that Wang Yu should wake up. The red-haired girl stepped forward and requested that the blue-haired girl should give her the knife. She called the zombie Wang Yu and warned that she wouldn't go easy on her if she came any closer. But the red-haired girl was alarmed when she saw something. She saw that Young Fan had arrived and decapitated Wang Yu from behind. The red-haired girl remarked that Young Fan killed her, but Young Fan retorted that she should shut up because Wang Yu was a mutant zombie, not a human, and they would be dead if he hadn't killed her, and the blue-haired girl was surprised when he mentioned the zombie. The red-haired girl, Yan Yu, asked Young Fan if the mutant zombie was like the one in movies and cartoons and how it was possible, and when she introduced herself and the blue-haired girl, Duanmui, she asked him who Young Fan was and how he knew that while Duanmui was still thinking about the zombie and was wondering what was going on in that world. When Young Fan heard their names, he immediately knew who they were, and he acknowledged that it was truly a small world. Young Fan knew them as the sharpshooter Yan Yu and Doctor of Mutant Research Duanmui of the Bloody Rose Base. Suddenly, another zombie appeared behind Young Fan, and it was about to attack him. Young Fan turned to attack the zombie behind him, but something already hit it, and it fell to the floor. Yan Yu was the one who threw the knife. Duanmui remarked that Yan Yu was good and that it scared the hell out of her, while Yan Fang noted that her blade was fast. And Yan Yu commented that it was a piece of cake because the zombie was a far cry from the flying target he used to shoot as a child. But the zombie began to stand back up, and as she roared, Young Fan observed that piercing the zombie's heart couldn't kill it. He swung his axe and explained that, just like in the movies, they have to cut off their heads to kill them. Yan Yu remarked that Young Fan is powerful, but he is a freak who goes into the women's bathroom and perhaps likes to study dead bodies, while Young Fan mentioned that last time, those two were the Bloody Rose's most powerful members. As he continued to inspect Wang Yu's head, Young Fan clarified that Bloody Rose and the third base of Sky Wheel that he joined were enemies, and he once fought with them, so he never expected that they would meet again that way. Yan Yu was a level 8 sharpshooter that could hit targets at an incredible range, while Duanmui was a level 6 mutant expert that could manipulate mutant parts and creatures. Young Fan was startled when Yan Yu showed him something and asked if he was looking for it. It was a gray crystal, and when Young Fan inquired where she got the crystal core, Yan Yu responded that, as expected, it was the crystal core because zombies in novels and cartoons normally have that, so she thought of it when she saw Young Fan frisking zombies. Yan Yu pointed at Duanmui, who was inspecting the body of the zombie, and noted that she found it because she gets full marks in anatomy after all. Duanmui was flustered, and she admitted that she just studied a little. Yan Yu turned to Young Fan and suggested that they should work together because an extra teammate meant extra strength. And when Young Fan suggested that maybe she should get dressed first, Yan Yu confidently asked him why, if he didn't like it, and if he wasn't there to peep at girls. To which Young Fan insisted that of course not because he just came in for shelter as there are zombies everywhere. Yan Yu turned to ask Duanmui if she believes Young Fan. And Duanmui acknowledged that they even met zombies in the bathroom, so there must be more outside. And she thinks that Young Fan was telling the truth, while Young Fan emphasized that both of them have great potential, and he has to build his own force to kill Xiao, so it's a good choice to invest in them. Duanmui was startled when she noticed Young Fan looking at them. She asked Yan Yu if they should get changed first, to which Yan Yu agreed and remarked that Yang Fan must have enjoyed the view. Du and Mui stated that they believed Yang Fan, but he should wait outside as they needed to get changed, and Yan Yu insisted that he shouldn't peek. As Yang Fan got out of the room, he promised that he wouldn't and that he would keep a watch on zombies. A few moments later, after the girls finished changing, Yan Yu asked Yang Fan if he knew how they became zombies. She explained that they were going to a comic-con after a shower, and they didn't expect that to happen, but the dress could help them move faster, and just Yang Fan admitted that he had no idea. Yan Yu inquired what they should do and if they should find a safe place and wait for rescue. When Yang Fan heard Yan Yu talk about a safe place, he emphasized that there is no safe place in that city because the number of zombies is surging and they are evolving as well. When Yan Yu heard that the zombies could evolve, she asked if that meant that they could evolve as well. Yang Fan suggested that they should just get out of there first and that he had checked that there were no zombies nearby. A few moments later, when they were already out of the bath, Yang Fan remembered to introduce himself. He stated that as they could see, great changes have taken place in that world, and in order to survive, they have to stick together and he could help them survive, but he has 3 conditions. First, they can't betray their partners. Second, they should give him the crystal cores. And third, they shouldn't jump the gun and follow his lead. Yan Yu asked Duanmui what she thought, and Duanmui commented that Yang Fan is really good as he knows how to kill zombies before they even knew what happened, so if they wanted to survive, they had to, and Yan Yu agreed. Yan Yu affirmed that they agreed to Yang Fan's terms, but she hoped that he could really lead them to survival, and Yang Fan asserted that they should follow him. A few moments later, they arrived at the number 1 teaching building, and it was filled with roaring and growling zombies and the Seed of Darkness. The 3 of them were hiding from behind, and as Yan Yu asked where they were going, she noted that there were so many zombies there. Yang Fan explained that they are going to collect the crystal cores, so they should walk quietly behind him and collect them because they will be their important resources in the future. As Yang Fan came out of hiding to attack a zombie, Yan Yu asked if he planned to fight that whole group of zombies by himself. The zombie roared, and it was startled when it saw Yang Fan swing his axe. Yang Fan easily chopped the zombie in half. Something fell to the ground, and Duanmui immediately exclaimed that it was a crystal core. Duanmui quickly went and picked it up. As she examined the crystal core, Duanmui observed that its material was very special, and they had never seen it before. Yan Yu remarked that Yang Fan indicated that it was a resource, so she asked Duanmui if it was more precious than gold, and Duanmui admitted that she doesn't know, but she would love to go to the lab and analyze its composition. Watching Yang Fan eliminate more zombies, Yan Yu couldn't help but inquire why on earth he was trying so hard to collect crystal cores. As Yan Yu mentioned that Yang Fan was really strong, a zombie suddenly appeared behind them, and Duanmui was alarmed. Suddenly, a car ran over the zombie, which surprised Duanmui and Yan Yu. A man who seemed to know Yan Yu came out of the car, and he asked Yan Yu if fate had brought them together because he didn't expect to find her there. He was Lin Tian, the heir of the Lin's group and Yan Yu's crazy suitor, and he stated that zombies can't touch Yan Yu as long as he is there, so she should get in the car and he will get her out of that hell. Yan Yu remarked that Lin Tian is really persistent, while Duanmui was wondering what he was doing there. While preoccupied, a zombie was about to attack Yan Yu from behind, but Yang Fan was able to decapitate it from behind, and as he asked Yan Yu why she was just standing there, he instructed that she should come with him. Yan Yu observed that some annoying person showed up, and it was their school's well-known moneybags, Lin Tian, which made Yang Fan speechless. Lin Tian approached Yang Fan, and he commented that Yang Fan obviously knew how to fight and he happened to need a bodyguard, so he should be his underling because he got money, but Yang Fan just scoffed. Surprised, Lin Tian asked Yang Fan if he didn't believe him. He gave Yang Fan a check and suggested that Yang Fan could fill out any number he liked as there was no limit on that account, and from that point onward, he would pay for all his expenses. Yang Fan remarked that the rich kid reminded him of something, that he does have to store some hard currency of the apocalypse, which is food and weapons. Suddenly, 2 zombies attacked Duanmui and she screamed. Yang Fan immediately came and decapitated the zombies, and he noted that the noise of the car attracted the zombies and they were coming around, so they needed to break through a SAP. He advised that Duanmui should stay behind him and go. Lin Tian was left behind, and as he called Yang Fan a peasant, he questioned him for daring to ignore him. He proclaimed that Yang Fan could just ask anyone who he was, and he mentioned that he was the heir of Lin's group, while he called Yan Yu and urged that she should wait for him. He groaned in disappointment when he saw that the zombies' attention was all directed towards Yang Fan and the others. As the zombies ran to chase Yang Fan and the others, Lin Tian cursed and complained that even zombies are ignoring him, but he could fight 10 of them at once, so they shouldn't run from him. On the other hand, Yang Fan was astonished when he saw something. and as he asked how that was possible, Duanmui commented that the flower before them seemed different somehow. Yongfan noted that it was a level 2 mutant plant, and in his mind, he was surprised that a mutant plant appeared so soon, and he observed that everything seemed to be mutating much faster than in the previous life. Duanmui was astonished, and she asked if plants could evolve too. Suddenly, the mutated flower produced a lot of dark pollen, and they were scattered in the area. The zombies were all groaning, and they were not moving as the dark pollen fell onto them. Yongfan warned that they should look out because a level 2 mutant flower could manipulate level 1 zombies to attack. Yongfan and the others were suddenly surrounded by the zombies, and they were all charging at them simultaneously. While Yongfan and Yan Yu were fighting off the zombies, Duanmui asked them what they should do as the zombies just kept on coming. Yongfan advised that they should stay behind him and that the low-level zombies move slowly so they will break through them together. Duanmui suddenly screamed when she saw that a zombie was charging towards her. Yan Yu quickly kicked the zombie, and she urged that Duanmui should stay between her and Yongfan, as she would handle the rear. When Yongfan saw what Yan Yu did, he praised that she was indeed the best in the Bloody Rose, as she could fight the zombies bare-handed. Meanwhile, Lin Tian was driving his car, and he was surrounded by zombies as well. Lin Tian assured that Yan Yu shouldn't be afraid because he was there. He mocked that the zombies were a bunch of losers, so they should get lost, and he stepped on the gas to run over the zombies. Lin Tian knocked over the zombies, and he even sent some of them flying with his car. He ran towards the school entrance, and when Yongfan saw that, he remarked that it was their chance. So Yan Yu and Duanmui should run and guard the teaching building entrance. But suddenly, Lin Tian closed the door. Yan Yu and Duanmui were still outside, and when Yan Yu saw that Lin Tian was holding onto the door, she demanded what he was doing. She banged on the door aggressively and urged that Lin Tian should open it. But Lin Tian laughed mockingly at her, and he proposed that he would get her in if she agreed to be his woman. Yan Yu glared at Lin Tian and accused that he was despicable. Yan Yu called Lin Tian a despicable man, and when Lin Tian heard her call him despicable, he replied that he came there because he was worried about her while she had never shown him any affection, even if he had courted her for a year, and currently she was with the poor guy. Yan Yu and Duanmui were alarmed when they saw that the zombies had begun approaching them from behind. Yongfan came and decapitated the zombies that were approaching Yan Yu and Duanmui, and as Yan Yu called him, she exclaimed that they couldn't go in and asked what they should do. He responded that they should go to the back door of the cafeteria. As Yan Yu and Duanmui quickly ran towards the back, Duanmui urged that Yongfan should be careful. The zombies were already swarming around Yongfan, and he declared that it was no good, so he had to destroy the mutant flower, or there would only be more and more zombies. Yongfan was already having a hard time as he slashed the heads of the zombies. As he got attacked, he cursed in his mind, and he wondered how the flower evolved to level 2 so fast. The zombies were all charging towards Yongfan while he was running towards the mutant flower. Yongfan raised his axe and determined that he could only take it head-on. A vine suddenly came out of the ground, and Yongfan was surprised. Yongfan swung his axe and tried to cut the vine off, but to his surprise, the axe only made a loud clanging sound. He groaned and commented that it was so hard, and with his current strength, he could only just break its skin. The zombie plant immediately spewed out a lot of dark pollen, and as they began to scatter, Yongfan noted that in the last apocalypse, level 2 mutant flowers didn't appear until at least 1 week later, so he asked if his rebirth triggered some kind of butterfly effect. The zombies suddenly stopped moving again while the dark pollen was falling on them. When they began to move and attack Yongfan expressed his alarm and mentioned the mutant flower was manipulating the zombies to attack him. Yongfan was alarmed when he was caught off guard and saw that a zombie was attacking him from behind. Suddenly, a knife impaled the zombie in the head, and Yongfan was surprised. Yongfan was surprised when he looked in the direction where the knife came from and recognized the people standing there. It was Yan Yu and Duanmui, and as Yongfan asked them why they came back, Yan Yu reminded him that he stated that he didn't need the weak, and she continued that they may not be strong, but they could still help him. As they stood together, Yongfan looked glad, as he remarked that he couldn't believe that he had allied with his former enemies. Suddenly, Yongfan noticed that Yan Yu's arm was injured, so he asked her if she was hurt. Yan Yu mentioned that a zombie scratched her, but she was fine, so they should focus on the flower first. Duanmui looked flustered as she handed the cooking oil she was carrying, and when she suggested that they could use fire, Yongfan agreed that it was a good idea. Yan Yu assured that she would cover them and that they should look out for the zombies on both sides, and she went in charge to attack the zombies. Yongfan poured the cooking oil on the flower. He threw a lighter, and as they watched the flower burn, Yongfan let out a sigh of relief and remarked they were lucky it was only a level 2 because normal fire would be useless against a level 3. Suddenly, Yongfan noticed the dark pollen floating around, and he immediately recognized it. He immediately warned that Yan Yu and Duanmui should quickly hold their breath because that pollen could paralyze their nerves and put them to sleep, and Yan Yu observed that even the level 1 zombies were put to sleep. A few moments later, a lot of zombies were lying on the ground, and someone was walking and calling Yan Yu, asking where she was. It was Lin Tian, and as he looked at all the unconscious zombies around him, he inquired if they knocked all those zombies down themselves. Suddenly, he saw the plant zombie and questioned what the hell it was. Lin Tian noted that there was a flower bud there, and he crouched down to pick it up. Suddenly, it extended and emerged from the ground because the flower bud was, in reality, a vine that was just protruding from the ground. Lin Tian's eyes became bloodshot, and he suddenly coughed up blood. The vine pierced through his torso, which made Lin Tian groan in pain, and even though he was having a hard time speaking, he muttered that he couldn't believe that he got killed by a bud. Yan Yu looked exhausted as she called Yang Fan, and she mentioned that she couldn't keep running because she felt dizzy. Yang Fan immediately went to check on Yan Yu's wounds. He was surprised, and when he revealed that she had been infected by a zombie, Yan Yu was also surprised, and she admitted that she didn't want to become a zombie, which is so hideous, so she would die. He quickly carried Yan Yu on his back, and she groaned as he insisted that it was not too late to save her, but if she did turn, he wouldn't hesitate to kill her. As they started running, Yang Fan called Duan Mui and instructed that she should keep up, and while out of breath, Duan Mui agreed that she would catch up, so he should save Yan Yu first. Yang Fan informed that Yan Yu was in danger. He hadn't evolved to level 1 yet, so the ring could only purify level 0 mutants at the moment, so he had to get back to the shower room and level up to save her. A few moments later, they arrived at the quality showers. While Yan Yu complained that she felt faint, Duan Mui asked her if she was alright and began sobbing. Yang Fan asked Duan Mui why she was crying, and as he reassured that Yan Yu was not going to die, he requested that she should give him all the crystal cores they have collected, which made Duan Mui wonder what Yang Fan would do with them and if they could save Yan Yu. Yan Yu watched Yang Fan, who announced that those crystal cores should be enough, as he walked towards the dealer in gray, while she was wondering who the man in gray was and why there was a man in the women's shower room. Yang Fan stood in front of the dealer in gray and began the transaction. Yan Yu and Duan Mui were both surprised when Yang Fan suddenly disappeared from their sight. The two of them simultaneously exclaimed that Yang Fan disappeared, and Yan Yu wondered if Yang Fan abandoned him and if she would become a zombie. Meanwhile, Yang Fan was in the trading space, and he complained that the apocalypse has just started, yet a bottle of water already costs 4 gray crystals, so he asked if the dealers were loan sharks. Yang Fan acknowledged that fortunately, his ring could give him discounts, so he will get a level 1 evolutive potion, which cost 40 gray crystals, and a bottle of water, which cost 4 gray crystals, and he confirmed the payment. The dealer in gray gave him what he bought and informed that Yang Fan paid 44 gray crystals after discount, and he had 60 gray crystals left. Yang Fan immediately drank the bottle of the level 1 evolutive potion. He reflected that last time, he missed his chance to level up early and became Xiao Ao's underling, and he couldn't utilize the full potential of the ring, and he had to watch his family die. Yang Fan leveled up from level 0 to level 1, and he declared that no one could hurt his family at that time. He began pouring a liquid into the bottled water he bought, and he considered that he couldn't completely trust Yan Yu and Duan Mui, so he should keep the ring's purification ability a secret. The trading was completed. When Yang Fan reappeared at the bathhouse, he asked how Yan Yu was, and when Duan Mui saw him, she wondered how he appeared in there again. But she realized that it was not time to think about that, so while sobbing, she urged that Yang Fan should check Yan Yu out because she was unconscious. Yan Yu was lying on the bench, panting, and when Yang Fan saw that, he was alarmed, and he alerted that Yan Yu was about to mutate. Yang Fan stressed that there was no time, and as he drank the bottled water, Duan Mui was worrying in the corner, thinking about what they should do. He started to transfer the water to Yan Yu using his mouth, and he observed that Yan Yu was gnashing her teeth even in a coma, and a lot of purifying water had flowed out, so he doesn't know if it will decrease its potency. Duan Mui was astonished by what Yang Fan did. Suddenly, the infection on Yan Yu's arm started to subside. Yan Yu slowly woke up while Yang Fan was still transferring the water into her mouth. She quickly shoved Yang Fan away. As she sat down, Yan Yu asked Yang Fan if that was how he saved her, and instead of directly answering her question, Yang Fan asked her how else he could do it and stated that she couldn't take medicine in a coma, but she could drink the rest by herself. Duan Mui quickly pounced at Yan Yu to hug her, and she rejoiced that it was great that Yan Yu woke up. She shared that she was so scared because Yan Yu would be a zombie at that moment if it weren't for Yang Fan. Yan Yu asked to confirm if Yan Yu had disappeared and how he came back. Duan Mui chimed in, and as she deduced that it must have something to do with the man in gray because Yan Feng disappeared and appeared with water suddenly around him, Yang Fan complimented that she was so smart. He clarified that it was a dealer who appeared after the apocalypse started, and they could trade with him by approaching him with crystal cores. When Yan Yu heard about the trade, she exclaimed that it was incredible. She asked Yang Fan if he traded the bottle from the dealer in gray and acknowledged that it must have cost a lot of crystal cores, and she owes him one, so later she will kill more zombies to pay him back. When Yang Fan heard that Yan Yu suggested later, he instructed that they should follow him immediately because they have wasted a lot of his time. And while assisting Yan Yu, Dunmui couldn't help but ask how Yang Fan could be like that when Yan Yu hasn't even recovered yet. At the number 1 teaching building, Yang Fan saw the zombies on the ground and remarked that they were still comatose, so they should get their crystal cores. Suddenly, Lin Tian showed himself and Yang Fan was startled. Lin Tian growled, and when Yang Fan recognized Lin Tian, he asked how he became a zombie. Yang Fan was suddenly on guard, and he warned that everyone should be careful because something was wrong there. Suddenly, the ground behind them started to rumble, and a vine came out of it. Yang Fan quickly jumped to grab and save Yan Yu, and he shouted that she should look out. On the other hand, Dunmui was running away from the vine when Yang Fan explained that the plant's attack has a limited range and the vines aren't long enough to attack them if they keep a safe distance. But Yang Fan and Yan Yu were surprised when they heard Dunmui scream. Dunmui was caught by the vine, which was a level 1 mutant spore, and Dunmui exclaimed that it moved so fast. Yang Fan quickly ran towards Dunmui, and he advised that she shouldn't struggle because it was a spore from the level 2 mutant flower, and it wanted revenge. He swung his axe and cut off the vine, which created a loud, booming sound. As Dunmui fell to the ground, Yang Fan asked her if she could still move, and as he instructed that she should go hide and stay out of the way so she wouldn't make things any worse, Dunmui agreed, and she apologized that she was too slow. Suddenly, the demon spore flower spewed out a poison pollen bullet. When Yang Fan saw that, he immediately instructed that they should hold their breath because it was poisonous. As Yang Fan cursed and complained that he couldn't open his eyes, a vine suddenly emerged from the ground behind him. The vine was about to attack Yang Fan from behind, and someone shouted that he should look out. Suddenly, Yang Fan's ring emitted a flashing light. The light swirled around and enveloped Yang Fan, and he grunted. Yang Fan was finally able to open his eyes, and he commented that, luckily, the ring could detoxify the level 1 mutant spore's poison. Otherwise, it would have died. He immediately swung his axe, and when he hit the vine that was about to attack him, he declared that it was a counterattack. As the vine got cut in half, it revealed a gray and white crystal, and Yang Fan remarked that he didn't expect that it would be there. Yang Fan crouched on the ground to pick it up. Yan Yu approached Yang Fan, and as she asked him what that white bead was, Yang Fan explained it was the level 2 mutant flower's crystal core, and the level 1 mutant spore didn't have enough time to devour it. Suddenly, another plant popped out of the ground, and when Dunmui saw it, she immediately pointed at it and exclaimed that they should look out because the spore was growing again. The plant that popped out of the ground was small, and it looked wilted. When Yang Fan went to inspect it, he explained that it was not a spore. It was the essence that inherited part of the mutant flower's power, and Yan Yu asked him what it was for. Yang Fan just smiled and hinted that she would know soon. He suggested that they should go back to the shower room, and when Yan Yu asked him if he was going to make a trade, he acknowledged that she was clever. A few moments later, they arrived at the quality showers, and Yang Fan remarked that a white crystal was worth 1,000 gray crystals, but he still wouldn't have much left after getting that artisan card. Yang Fan stood in front of the dealer in gray and began the transaction. While selecting the things he wanted to purchase, Yang Fan noted that besides the artisan card, which cost 600 gray crystals, and 2 level 1 evolutive potions, which cost 80 gray crystals, he will also get them a gun, which costs 320 gray crystals, because the 2 ladies will waste a lot of his time if they can't protect themselves. Yang Fan was notified that everything costs 1,000 gray crystals, so after deducting it from his 1,116 gray crystals, he had 116 gray crystals left, and when Yang Fan saw that, he remarked that he was poor again. After the transaction was completed, Yang Fan went to Yan Yu, and as he handed the items to her, he stated that they would have 1 evolutive potion each and 1 gun, so they could fight. Yan Yu was surprised that she got the gun, and she asked Yang Fan if he didn't need a weapon. Yang Fan showed the artisan card to Yan Yu, and he explained that he had that. Yan Yu asked Yang Fan what the card was, and Yang Fan smiled sinisterly as he crushed the card and declared that she would know very soon. A magic circle suddenly appeared underneath Yang Fan's feet, and a huge amount of energy surged out of it. As the energy disappeared, Yang Fan clenched his fist, and he stated that at that time, he got the artisan profession and the ring, so Xiaowao should not die before he comes for him. Yan Yu approached Yang Fan, and she remarked that he looks the same as he did before, to which Yang Fan replied and noted that sometimes their eyes may deceive them, so he would show her something. Yang Fan picked up his axe, and he proclaimed that with the artisan profession, he could make a best-armed team in the apocalypse and crush the Sky Weebazel once and for all. He used his artisan skill, transformation, on the axe he was holding. The axe suddenly started to melt. Yan Yu was amazed when the axe turned into a blade, and Yang Fan explained that an artisan could forge anything into equipment. Yang Fan mentioned that he would add the mutant essence on top of that, and he used his artisan skill, advancement. The blade began absorbing the essence of the crystal core that Yang Fan was offering to it. Suddenly, the blade let out a burst of zapping energy, and it became a leveled poison moon blade. Yang Fan revealed that the blade could paralyze the enemy, which amazed the two ladies, and Duanmui exclaimed that it sounded amazing. Duanmui asked Yang Fan if he could transform her scalpel as well, to which Yang Fan promised that he would add some materials and make weapons for her. Yang Fan grabbed a shower head, and he used his artisan skill, transformation, on it and the surgeon's scalpel. He managed to create 2 level 1 knives, and he confirmed that he made them. Yang Fan handed the knives to the ladies and encouraged that they should give it a try, and as Duanmui inspected it, she remarked that bare-handed forging was unscientific. Yang Fan suggested that they should go and that their next target was the girls' dormitory, where his sister, Yang Qingsu, was waiting. Handing the other bottle of evolutive potion to Duanmui, Yan Yu asked if they would also have superpowers after drinking it. Yang Fan shook his head and clarified no, as level 1 evolutive potion could only improve their physical potential. Duanmui looked at the potion intently, and she commented that she really wanted to take it to the lab and analyze its chemical composition so much. She drank the potion and noted that they could buy some more of it later on. Both Duanmui and Yan Yu were speechless when they felt the energy that coursed through them. Duanmui observed that it was amazing, as she feels that her body is full of strength, while Yan Yu remarked that she thinks that she could fight 100 zombies. A few moments later, Yang Fan threw a zombie out of a car and commanded that they should get in the car. Yang Fan looked so agitated as he drove the car, and he announced that he was coming for Yang Qingsu. He drove forward so fast that he sent a zombie flying when the car bumped into it. Meanwhile, the grounds in front of the number 1 girls' dorm were filled with zombies. Yang Fan and his group arrived, and as one of them mentioned that zombies were following them, another suggested that they should block the entrance with the car. Duanmui and Yan Yu quickly ran up the stairs, and as they asked Yang Fan which room his sister was in, he responded that it was 501. When they arrived at room 501, they saw a few zombies lying in the hallway, and as Yan Yu observed that something was off there, Yang Fan noticed that the door was open. As they entered the room, they saw that it was a mess and the window was broken, which made Yang Fan worry about Yang Qingsu. Yan Yu inspected the marks by the window, and as she commented that there were signs of struggle, she was about to ask Yang Fan if something had already happened to his sister, but she trailed off. Yang Fan cut Yan Yu off and insisted that she should shut up because that was impossible. Suddenly, Duanmui, who climbed up the bunk bed, called Yang Fan and mentioned that there was a phone there. When Yang Fan looked at the phone, he immediately exclaimed that it was Yang Qingsu's phone, and when he saw the notification that the smart bracelet had been disconnected for 15 minutes, he speculated that she might not be far away, so they should look for her separately. Meanwhile, at the activity room on the 7th floor, Yang Qingsu was held captive by a group of men along with other girls, and one of the men proposed that they should let him check which one of them has the smoothest skin, and he was going to spend the night with her. Yang Qingsu was horrified when one of the men touched her face and commented that her skin is so smooth. He remarked that the apocalypse was actually wonderful because otherwise, there was no way they could get a chance to touch such beautiful girls, and Yang Qingsu shouted that he should go away and let go of her or her brother will kill him. The man laughed, and as he called Yang Qingsu a beauty, he taunted that her brother couldn't save her, but he could. When the man leaned in towards Yang Qingsu, she screamed. She demanded that he should get away, and she asked for help. But the man just commented that she does have a beautiful voice, and her scream is getting him more and more excited. Tears welled up in the corner of Yang Qingsu's eyes as she regretted that if she had listened to Yang Fan, she wouldn't have opened the door for those damned wretches. Suddenly, Yang Fan arrived, and as he kicked the door, he yelled and ordered that they should stop. Yang Qingsu's face immediately lit up when she saw Yang Fan, while the man who was harassing her was surprised. Yang Fan looked so pissed, and as he called the man scum, he demanded that he should get his hands off. He swung his blade at the man and cursed that he should go to hell. The 3 remaining men were pissed. One of them cursed as he called Yang Fan a bastard, and as he questioned him for daring to attack their boss, he threatened that Yang Fan was courting death, while another man declared that it would be Yang Fan's last day. Releasing the zapping energy from his blade, Yang Fan reassured Yang Qingsu that she shouldn't be afraid because he wouldn't spare those bastards who bullied her earlier. Yang Fan swung his blade, and he cut one of the men in half. The other man was about to attack Yang Fan with a knife, and he cursed as he asked Yang Fan who he thought he was and threatened that he should go to hell. But suddenly, a knife hit the man on the forehead. It was Yan Yu who threw it, and Yang Fan was surprised. The remaining man was horrified when he saw the bodies of his companions lying on the floor. He immediately bowed down in front of Yang Fan, and as he pleaded for mercy and begged Yang Fan to not kill him, he admitted that they were wrong. Meanwhile, Yan Yu looked concerned as she asked if the man died, and she confessed that she lost her mind. But Yang Fan reassured her that she should not be guilty because in the apocalypse, it was either she kills people or she gets killed. Yang Fan sliced the ropes that were restraining Yang Kingsu. Yang Kingsu quickly jumped and hugged Yang Fan while sobbing, and as she confessed that she was so scared, Yang Fan apologized that he was late, and he assured that it was already okay. The other girls thanked Yang Fan for saving them, and as one of them pledged that they would follow him from that point onward in return. The other girl agreed and committed that they were counting on Yang Fan. But Yang Fan straightforwardly declined. Pointing something across the room, Yang Fan emphasized that it was the apocalypse, and he doesn't need useless people. Yang Fan was pointing at the unconscious girls lying on the floor, and he stated that if they can't become strong, they will end up like them. He was startled when Doonmui suddenly arrived, and as she got surprised when she entered the room, she inquired what happened there and if he had found his sister. Yang Fan confirmed and suggested that they should go. As Yang Fan and his group walked out the door, one of the girls muttered that it was bullshit as it was all because they don't look as good as the two girls beside Yang Fan, and the other girl scoffed and questioned if those three women could fight. A few moments later, Yang Fan and his group arrived at the second floor, and as he leaned over the balcony, he observed that there were so many zombies down there, so he proposed he would go kill them first and they should wait right there. Yang Fan jumped off the balcony, and as he landed on the ground, he declared that he was coming for the crystal cores. He immediately charged and kneed one of the zombies in the face. When Yang Fan swung his blade to slash another zombie, Yang Kingsu cheered for him. After a while, Yang Fan announced that the zombies are dead, so they should come down, and as Yan Yu agreed, Yang Kingsu was amazed, and she praised that Yang Fan was amazing. A car was passing by a supermarket that was surrounded by a horde of zombies that were roaring. Suddenly, someone's stomach began to grumble. It was Yang Kingsu, and when Yang Fan heard that, he suggested that Yan Yu should stop and that they should stop by the supermarket, which made Yang Kingsu glad. But she asked Yang Fan if they really would because so many zombies are over there. Doonmui mentioned that they needed to stock up on food and water, and normally, such big supermarkets have remote back doors for transporting goods, so they should get in from there. Yan Yu agreed, and she announced that everyone should sit tight because they would go to the back door, which made Yang Kingsu excited. They drove towards the back door at an incredible speed, and the tires screeched when Yan Yu hit the brakes, and they saw a zombie in their way. Yang Fan got out of the car, and he declared that he would kill that zombie, so they should follow him. He attacked the zombie, which was immediately pushed back. A few moments later, a door swung open. It was the door to the supermarket, and Yang Fan and the three girls came in. Looking around, Yan Yu observed that, to her surprise, there are no zombies in that supermarket with plenty of supplies, so they should stay there for the night. While Yang Kingsu got so excited when she saw her favorite potato chips and Coke and exclaimed that she feels like she regained happiness. But Doonmui suddenly remarked that something was wrong because a lot of zombies should be in a crowded area like a supermarket. Looking at the glass window, Doonmui also noted that, what was more, the zombies gathered in front of the supermarket seemed to be attracted by something. Yang Fan was startled when Yang Kingsu suddenly called him and reported that there was blood in there. When they went to check, they saw that the entire aisle was a mess and was filled with a huge pool of blood. And as Yang Kingsu expressed her alarm, she observed that there was much blood, so it was no wonder that so many zombies were at the entrance. Someone touched the blood to examine it. It was Doonmui who examined the blood, and Yang Fan was alarmed when she revealed that it was human blood, so everyone should watch out. Yang Fan was on guard as he watched the horde of zombies outside gathering by the glass window, and he advised that the others should step back and find a safe place to collect supplies. He went to investigate what the zombies were attracted to, and he saw that there was a huge piece of meat by the window. Yang Fan noted that it looked like someone dumped a clot there on purpose to attract the zombies. Doonmui observed that it was a good strategy because there is plenty of food. But humans and zombies outside can't come in. Suddenly, Yan Yu came back with Yang Kingsu, and she announced that they found 2 backpacks that were both full of supplies. Yang Fan was concerned as he looked at Yang Kingsu, and he explained that his ring was not only for trading but also for storage, so he needed to find a way to store more supplies because only 2 bags of food can't even feed Yang Kingsu. Suddenly, Yang Fan felt something behind him, and he quickly turned to check on it. On the second floor of the supermarket, someone was watching Yang Fan from behind using the security cameras, and he asked someone if the guy down there was their ex-boyfriend Yang Fan. It was Wang Yilong, security team leader of the all-inclusive supermarket, and he was talking to Zhao Yunrong, who was serving him in a bunny costume, and she clarified that Yang Fan is not her ex-boyfriend because Wang Yilong was the only one in her mind and Yang Fan forced her to do that in the morning. Zhao Yunrong observed that Yang Fan was weird because that morning, he claimed that only the strongest ones deserved to survive in the apocalypse. Wang Yilong was amused when he heard what Zhao Yunrong recounted, and as he asked her if she was sure that Yang Fan mentioned the apocalypse, and if she was not lying to him. Zhao Yunrong insisted that there was no way she would lie to him and protested that he was hurting her. Wang Yilong made Zhao Yunrong suck his index finger, and as he called her a little slut, he promised that he would show her how awesome she is that night, which made Zhao Yunrong moan, and she teased that Wang Yilong was naughty. When Zhao Yunrong looked at the camera footage, she was pissed and complained that Yang Fan was a scum. She exclaimed that it was no wonder that Yang Fan left her alone in the hotel because he got new lovers and he made her serve such a pervert. Both Yang Fan and Yan Yu got close to the camera. Zhao Yunrong suddenly pointed at the screen and remarked that Yan Yu's pistol was glowing, and Wang Yilong commented that it was nice. She also observed that those 3 women around the brat, Yang Fan, were pretty, which made Wang Yilong call his guys, and he ordered that they should go get those women because even if they have to die, they should enjoy the great moment. One of the men cursed and complained that he was injured because of a sneak attack that morning and was nearly killed by a zombie, so he would make Yang Fan pay for that. To which Wang Yilong agreed. Yang Fan glanced at the CCTV camera behind him. He walked towards the others and suggested that they should have a rest there as he was going to collect some stuff. When he passed by Yan Yu, he discreetly informed her that they were under surveillance, so they should split up, and Yan Yu asked him if there was anyone else. Yang Fan leaned into Yan Yu's ears and whispered she should listen to him. A few moments later, someone was walking along a path that was filled with cluttered products on the floor. It was Yang Fan, and he mentioned that in the apocalypse, a bottle of pure water is worth 4 gray crystals, and a bottle of Coke could sell for 20 gray crystals, so he better stock more of such valuable stuff in his ring. As he picked up a bottle of water off the floor, Yang Fan noted that the ring currently has only 10 square meters of storage space, so he needed to upgrade it to SP to store more supplies. Yang Fan suddenly threw the bottled water towards the CCTV camera and smashed it. He extended his hand to use his ring. Yang Fan instructed that it should absorb, and the ring began sucking the products on the shelves. When Yang Fan emptied the shelf in front of him, someone suddenly threw a knife at him while cursing, and as the person asked where his stuff was, they called Yang Fan a bastard and questioned him for daring to touch it. Yang Fan managed to dodge the knife, and as he turned to face the person, he inquired if it was a sneak attack. It was Wang Yilong who threw the knife, and Yang Fan was surprised when he saw the group of men. But then, when he seemed to recognize them, he queried Wang Yilong if it was him. Yang Fan recalled that in his previous life, Wang Yilong tortured his body and soul at the beginning of the apocalypse. It brought him down and nearly ruined him, and as Wang Yilong called Yang Fan a bastard, he confirmed that it was him and questioned Yang Fan for daring to make trouble in his place. Wang Yilong called the guys he was with and commanded that they should break Yang Fan's legs, and the 3 men cheered as they all charged forward. But Yang Fan managed to stop the attacks of the 2 men simultaneously by elbowing their faces, and he remarked that they were pieces of shit. The 3rd man stopped in his tracks as he was surprised by what Yang Fan did, while Wang Yilong was surprised that he cursed in his mind and wondered how Yang Fan became so strong. Wang Yilong called Yang Fan a brat and warned that he shouldn't be cocky because his underlings were running after his girls, so if he dares to touch him, something will happen to them, but he was not able to finish his sentence as he was cut off. He and the other man with him were startled when they heard a huge thud behind them, and as they turned, they saw one of their men lying unconscious on the floor, and someone asked them what they were going to do. It was Yan Yu, and while she was grabbing another man by his hair, she revealed that, just as Yang Fan expected, those scums tried to sneak up on them while he was away, but she had downed them. Wang Yilong was extremely surprised, and he cursed as he exclaimed that he was screwed. He quickly kneeled in front of Yang Fan to apologize, and as he requested that Yang Fan forgive him, he confessed Zhao Yunrong asked him to do that. But Wang Yilong was secretly grabbing his bat, and he muttered that Yang Fan was the son of a witch who dares to ambush him so he will kill him. Yang Fan was startled when Wang Yilong suddenly swung his bat, called him a brat, asked him who he thought he was, and demanded that he should take that. But Yang Fan managed to grab the bat, and he immediately used his artisan skill, transformation, on it. The bat's handle transformed and became sharp, and as it pierced through Wang Yilong's hand, he screamed and complained about it. While he was crouching on the floor in pain, Wang Yilong cursed and demanded what tricks Yang Fan played, and he urged that Yang Fan should let him go or he was going to kick his ass. Meanwhile, the other men were terrified when they saw what Yang Fan did, and as one of them ran away and described Yang Fan as a monster, the other was frozen in place, and he pleaded that he didn't do anything and requested that Yang Fan spare him. On the other hand, seeing what Yang Fan did, Yan Yu commented that it was amazing and that she could not believe that the skill could work that way. Yang Fan asked Wang Yilong if he was going to kill him, and as Wang Yilong pleaded for mercy, he disclosed that the witch Zhao Yunrong instigated him to do it, so Yang Fan should go kill her, and he requested that Yang Fan let him go. Yang Fan agreed with Wang Yilong, and as he stated that he would let him go, he used his artisan skill, transformation, on the bat again. But instead of removing the bat from Wang Yilong's hand, Yang Fan made the sharp end grow and stabbed Wang Yilong on the neck, and as he walked away, he exclaimed, "To hell that was." Looking at the lifeless body of Wang Yilong on the floor, Yan Yu commented that it was amazing, and she wondered when she could have such awesome magic power. The two remaining men were bowing in front of Yang Fan, and as one of them pleaded that Yang Fan not kill them and declared that they wouldn't dare to do that again, the other repeatedly pleaded that Yang Fan spare them. Yan Yu turned to Yang Fan and remarked they were bastards but failed to attack them, so he should just let them go. Yang Fan ordered that the men should get lost, and when they heard that, the men responded that they would get lost immediately, and as they quickly rolled away, they thanked Yang Fan. Suddenly, Yang Fan glanced over his shoulder and inquired how long they wanted to eavesdrop. Yang Fan mentioned Zhao Yunrong's name, which startled Yan Yu, and Zhao Yunrong, who was indeed eavesdropping and hiding at the staircase behind them, was alarmed. Zhao Yunrong quickly turned around and ran back into the control room where she came from. As she did something with the computer, she proclaimed that she and Yang Fan should die together. The security system asked Zhao Yunrong if she would open the automatic induction door, and as she clicked the yes button, she announced that death was coming to Yang Fan. The doors suddenly opened, and as the roaring zombies rushed in, the system welcomed them to the store. When Yang Fan saw that, he cursed and uttered Zhao Yunrong's name. He turned to Yan Yu and instructed that he should go upstairs and find the switch to close the door, to which Yan Yu immediately agreed, and she advised that he should take care. Yang Fan was startled when he saw Yang Qingsu and Duanmui towards him, and as Yang Qingsu asked for help, she informed that the door was open and there were many zombies. He quickly moved to attack the zombies, and as he called Duanmui and directed that she should protect Yang Qingsu while he took care of those zombies, Yang Qingsu was cheering for him. Even though she was trembling in fear, Duanmui bravely assured that Yang Qingsu shouldn't be afraid because she would protect her, which surprised Yang Qingsu. On the other hand, Yan Yu arrived at the control room. Yan Yu assumed that the switch must be in there, and she grabbed the doorknob to enter the room. But when she opened the door, she was surprised when something swung at her, and someone yelled that she should go to hell while calling her a witch. It was Zhao Yunrong who swung a bat at Yan Yu, but Yan Yu was able to dodge the attack. Yan Yu was able to quickly restrain Zhao Yunrong from behind. And as she proclaimed that she knew that there was an ambush, she asserted that the evolutive potion had made her a lot more agile. Zhao Yunrong got her hands tied, and she was left sitting on the floor. Yan Yu was working on the computer, and when Zhao Yunrong called her a witch and demanded that she should let her go, Yan Yu instructed that she should shut up as she would deal with her later. The doors began to close, but they were stuck as the zombies kept coming in, and when Yang Qingsu saw that, she called Yang Fan and informed that the door couldn't shut. Yang Fan was still killing zombies, and he assured that it was okay because he was there. Suddenly, Yan Yu arrived with Zhao Yunrong, and when she asked Yang Fan what they should do with Zhao Yunrong immediately asked Yang Fan for help and complained that the bad woman, Yan Yu, was fierce. Yan Yu questioned Zhao Yunrong if she was out of her mind because she opened the door to kill them, yet currently she was asking Fan to help her. And Zhao Yunrong justified that she was helping them deal with Wang Yilong as they killed the supermarket staff and tried to kill Yang Fan. Zhao Yunrong was caught off guard when Yang Fan caressed her face and inquired if she declared that she was trying to help them. She seductively affirmed yes and that she loves Yang Fan so much, and Yang Fan questioned her if that was real. Yang Fan smiled sinisterly, and he commanded that Zhao Yunrong should just go to the underworld and kill Wang Yilong again. Zhao Yunrong screamed and called Yang Fan's name when he suddenly pushed her out the door. The zombies immediately flocked at her, and when a zombie bit her neck, she screamed in pain and pleaded for help. The store's doors were closed. Zhao Yunrong kneeled in front of the door, and as the zombies feasted on her, she cursed Yang Fan and vowed that she would come after him even if she became a ghost. Yang Qingsu called Zhao Yunrong a bad woman and exclaimed that Zhao Yunrong scared the hell out of her because she even tried to kill her brother before she died. While they were gathering the gray crystals, Yan Yu remarked that it was a little cruel, but Zhao Yunrong deserved it, and when she asked Yang Fan if Zhao Yunrong was his ex-girlfriend, Yang Fan confirmed. Yan Yu remembered and mentioned that there is a staff dormitory on the second floor, and they could take a bath and rest there, so they should stay there for the night, to which Yang Fan agreed. Duanmui let out a sigh of relief while Yang Qingsu celebrated. A few moments later, they came to the staff dormitory. Yan Yu just finished her shower, and when she noted that it was comfortable, Yang Qingsu agreed and commented that it was a thrilling day, and Yan Yu advised that she should go to sleep early because tomorrow may be more thrilling. Duanmui, who doesn't need to wear glasses anymore after she drank the level 1 evolutive potion, also finished her shower, and she expressed that it was a relief. Meanwhile, it was already quiet in the supermarket downstairs. Yang Fan was using his ring to absorb something. He was collecting all the goods and emptying the shelves. Yang Fan left when all the shelves in the store were empty. The next morning, 3 men were entering the store through the back door. But when they got inside, they were astonished when they saw that the place was empty. The chubby guy asked what was going on, and he remarked that there was no food left. The guy in the tank top sat on the floor in disappointment as he cursed and exclaimed that they had an exhausting trip to get there, but nothing was left. And the guy in the green jacket stated that it was strange that everything was gone overnight. Suddenly, the guy in the green jacket was surprised when he saw the stairs. He immediately went back to his companions and informed that they should come with him because there was a second floor in that supermarket. As they climbed up the stairs, the guy in the green jacket cursed, and as he muttered that it was quiet and he hoped that the zombies wouldn't pop out of nowhere. The guy in the tank top called Sinan, the chubby guy, and insisted that he should go in front of them, to which Sinan reluctantly agreed. Sinan grabbed the doorknob to open the door, but when he opened the door, he was astonished when something was moving fast in front of him, and someone warned that he shouldn't move. Yongfan was aiming his blade at Sinan's neck, and when Sinan saw that, he got terrified and pleaded that Yongfan shouldn't hurt them because they were not zombies. While Sinan was trembling in front of them, the guy in the green jacket behind observed that Yongfan had made a quick move, and the guy in the tank top cursed in his mind as he thought someone was there, so it was no wonder that it was empty downstairs. The men were startled when the door at the end of the hallway opened, and Yan Yu came out of it. When Yan Yu saw the men, she inquired Yongfan who they were. Sinan was in tears as he requested Yan Yu for help and asking Yongfan to calm down because he was only there to get some food for him and his cat, to which the other guys agreed and urged that Yongfan should get the blade away. Yongfan slowly moved his blade away from Sinan. As Yongfan walked towards Yan Yu, he ordered that the men should get out of there as there was no food. The guy in the tank top got mad, and as he exclaimed that it was bullshit, he asked Yongfan if Yan Yu wasn't carrying a big bag. The two guys smiled evilly, and the guy in the green jacket commented that it was enough for them to eat for several days. But the two of them got frozen in place when they saw that a knife suddenly got stuck on the wall behind them. It was Yan Yu who threw the knife, and as she questioned them for daring to covet her stuff, she demanded that they should get away. The guy in the tank top was horrified, and as he cursed Yan Yu and called her a witch in his mind, he whispered that it scared the hell out of him because he was close to having his head pierced. The guy in the green jacket quickly grabbed the arm of the guy in the tank top, and as she complimented Yan Yu pretty, he insisted that it was a misunderstanding because his dude was talking nonsense, so they would get out of there immediately. As they walked away, the guy in the tank top asked Kang, the guy in the green jacket, if he was serious when the witch Yan Yu almost killed him, and Kang advised he should take it easy because they can't beat them head on, so they will follow them and look for a chance to grab the bag. Sinan got terrified when Yan Yu asked him why he was still there. He quickly replied that he was not one with the two guys, and he just ran into them when looking for food. He mentioned that if they give him some cat food cans, he could tell them some news in return as he knew a base for survivors where there are no zombies, but military protection. While Yan Yu asked if there weren't a few cat food cans downstairs, something swift suddenly went behind her. It jumped quickly away from Yan Yu, and when she saw that, she asked what it was and remarked that it was fast. Yongfan and Yan Yu were startled when something appeared on Sinan's shoulders, and as he called it Zishi, he instructed it not to make trouble because it was not his. Sinan grabbed the snack from Zishi's mouth, and she meowed. Zishi was sad, and as tears rolled down her cheeks when Sinan took the snack away from her, someone asked if Zishi was Sinan's cat. Sinan confirmed yes and that he was there to get some cat food cans for him because he suddenly began to have a good appetite yesterday, and refused to eat its daily food but ate all the cans at home. Sinan asked Yan Yu if she didn't know that it was empty downstairs, and when Yan Yu got surprised, Yongfan explained that there was some noise downstairs last night, so someone must have taken everything. Suddenly, Yang Kingsu and Dunmui arrived, and Yang Kingsu's eyes twinkled when she admired Zishi and commented that she was a pretty kitty. Yang Kingsu asked Sinan if she could hold Zishi, but Yongfan warned no because the cat had mutated. Sinan asked Yongfan how and stated that Zishi was a good cat and not a monster. Yang Kingsu insisted that Yongfan should look because Zishi is so cute and quiet, and she would just hold it for a while, but Yongfan refused no way. Yongfan was surprised when Yang Kingsu stuck her tongue out at him, and she quickly turned to grab Zishi. When she got Zishi in her arms, Yang Kingsu stuck her tongue out at Yongfan again with Zishi and called him a bad guy. Yang Kingsu observed that Zishi is so cute and his hair is so smooth that she will give him half of her snacks. A few moments later, they came out of the supermarket through the back door, and when Sinan asked them if they were sure that they were not going to the base with him, Yan Yu responded no, as they had something else to handle. Yang Kingsu and Zishi was sad as Yang Kingsu bid goodbye to him. Suddenly, a motorcycle was coming towards them at an incredible speed, and someone was asking for help. Zishi looked pissed, while Sinan and Yang Kingsu were astonished, and she seemed to have recognized what they were seeing. Yang Kingsu exclaimed that they were zombie dogs, and the guys from earlier were riding on a motorcycle and being chased by them. The guys asked them for help, but Yan Yu demanded that they should get away and that they had brought the zombie dogs there. The guys apologized, acknowledged that they were wrong, and, as they requested that they help them and not drive them away, Yan Yu scoffed as she called them cowards and ordered that they should hole up. But suddenly, the two guys smiled sinisterly as they looked at each other. The guy in the tank top was about to dig his knife into Yan Yu's back, and he called her a witch as he declared that she should stay there and feed the zombie dogs on herself while Kang was busy grabbing Yang Kingsu's bag behind him. The knife slightly stabbed Yan Yu, and when she screamed in pain, someone grabbed the guy's hand immediately. It was Yang Fan who grabbed the guy's hand, and while Yan Yu was flinching in pain behind him, Yang Fan stated that he knew that the guy was up to no good. The guy kneeled on the ground due to pain, and he cried that it hurt, so Yang Fan should let him go. On the other hand, Duan Muyi and Sinan were both helping Yang Kingsu pull her bag away from Kang, and Kang demanded that they should give him the bag, and as he called Sinan fatso, he shouted hands off. Kang was gritting his teeth and was giving it all he had to take the bag away from them. Suddenly, Kang pointed behind them and shouted that there were zombie dogs, which distracted Sinan and Yang Kingsu. Kang quickly snatched the bag away, and as he called Yang Kingsu a witch, he demanded that she should give it to him. Suddenly, the motorcycle began revving up. Kang fled using the motorcycle while he was carrying Yang Kingsu's bag, and the guy he was with was astonished when he exclaimed that he would see him around. He called everyone bloody idiots, and he thanked them for blocking the zombie dogs. A zombie dog appeared behind Yang Fan, and it roared ferociously. Yang Kingsu got worried about Yang Fan, and she called his name. On the other hand, the guy in the tank top was horrified when he saw that Yang Fan was not letting him go. The guy screamed when Yang Fan threw him towards the zombie dogs. As Yang Fan prepared himself to fight, he declared that everyone should get in the car and not get underfoot. Suddenly, Yan Yu gave her bag to Duan Muyi and instructed that she should hold it. Yan Yu came after Yang Fan, and she insisted that she doesn't always want to be the weak one relying on him. The two of them started fighting the zombie dogs, and as Yan Yu remarked that those little pups aren't so scary, Yang Fan observed that a single zombie dog isn't so dangerous, but they live in packs, run quickly, and keep pouncing on them, so they should retreat immediately. The car arrived, and as it hit one of the zombie dogs, someone yelled and urged that they should get in the car. As Duan Muyi opened the door for them, Yang Kingsu called Yang Fan and insisted that he should get in. Both Yan Yu and Yang Fan were running towards the car, and the zombie dogs were chasing after them. While they were running, Yan Yu and Yang Fan looked back when they noticed a presence behind them. A huge and ferocious zombie was roaring at Yang Fan, and he exclaimed that it was a level 2 mutant zombie dog. When Yan Yu got in the car, Yang Fan urged that they should leave first, but Yan Yu insisted that he should get in quickly. The level 2 mutant zombie dog roared as it charged towards Yang Fan, and when Yang Fan saw that, he commanded that Sinan should drive and should get out of the way. Sinan quickly agreed and drove away, and as Yang Fan blocked the zombie dog's claws with his blade, Sinan wished him good luck. Inside the car, Sinan was astonished when Yan Yu protested and demanded that they should stop because she needed to help Yang Fan, to which Yang Kingsu agreed, and she insisted that they should go help her brother. But as Yan Yu was about to get out of the car, Duan Muyi stopped her and reasoned that she should calm down because Yang Fan is right. She explained that if they get out at that moment, they will do nothing but die, and Yang Fan is a lot stronger than they are, so he will be okay. Meanwhile, the zombie dog rushed towards Yang Fan to attack him again, and Yang Fan managed to block its attack again with his blade. The weight of the zombie dog was heavy that it managed to push Yang Fan to the ground, and it growled as it kept on pushing. Yang Fan was unfazed by the situation, and he confidently taunted the zombie dog if it wanted to bite him. He grabbed the hilt of his blade firmly and asserted that his level 2 blade was not going to let that happen. Yang Fan swung his blade and swiftly decapitated the zombie dog. After defeating the zombie dog, Yang Fan got a white crystal, and he noted that it was nice. Suddenly, Yang Fan was surprised when he noticed that a pack of zombie dogs were barking and charging towards him. Yang Fan warned that although the level 2 giant zombie dog is killed, the smell of blood will only attract more zombie dogs, and he can't kill them all. Suddenly, a car drove behind Yang Fan. Yan Yu quickly opened the door, and as she extended her hand to Yang Fan, she urged that he should get in. Yang Fan immediately took Yan Yu's hand. Yan Yu pulled Yang Fan inside the car, but Yang Fan's face got buried in her bosom, so she was flustered, and she muttered that he should sit up. She was in a daze while she was blushing profusely. Yang Fan agreed, and when he sat up, he looked out the window and saw that the pack of zombie dogs were still chasing them. Calling Sinan chubby, Yang Fan instructed that he should take a few more turns to shake off the zombie dogs, to which Sinan immediately agreed. The car sped up while the zombie dogs continued to chase after them. Suddenly, Yang Kingsu noticed the pool of blood in between Yan Yu and Yang Fan, and she was alarmed. Young Kingsu asked Young Fan if he got hurt, and Young Fan confidently replied no because the zombies couldn't hurt him. Suddenly, Yan Yu leaned towards Duan Mui, and Duan Mui screamed when she noticed the blood, and Young Fan got worried when she exclaimed that Yan Yu was bleeding everywhere. Yan Yu was in pain, but she explained that it was okay because Han Liang, the guy in the tank top, stabbed her, and her wound opened up when she was fighting the zombie dogs. Young Kingsu turned to Yan Yu and commented that she had lost a lot of blood, so there was no way that was okay. Young Fan began to inspect Yan Yu's wound, and when she saw that, she asked him what he was doing. He traced the wound with his finger to check it thoroughly. Young Fan observed that the wound was torn open and Yan Yu was bleeding a lot. He mentioned that he should have gotten some medicine from the dealer. Young Fan gave his jacket to Duan Mui and instructed that she should help stop the bleeding. He turned to Sinan and requested that he should take them to a drugstore, but Sinan informed that all the drugstores were already empty, but there were drugs and doctors at the base that he mentioned. When Young Fan heard about the doctors, he decided that they should go to the base. Sinan agreed, and he indicated that 2 more turns and they would be there as it was at that district's largest shopping mall. A few moments later, the car parked in front of the shopping mall, and Sinan announced that they had arrived. It was the base. Young Fan looked up at the building as soon as he got out of the car. He expressed that he couldn't believe that the place got established so early because last time he was tortured by Wang Yilong for a whole month before coming there, where a doctor saved him. But unfortunately, the doctor was killed for disobeying orders and treating patients for free. Young Fan resolved that, currently, he could keep that from happening and save the doctor. Meanwhile, Duan Mui and Young Kingsu were helping Yan Yu walk, and as Duan Mui encouraged that Yan Yu should hold on because the doctor was coming, Yan Yu assured that it was alright because she can manage. Sinan suddenly started running in front of them. He urged that they should hurry, and as he pointed ahead, he identified that it was the gate, so they should come with him. Sinan quickly approached the 2 guys guarding the gate, and he requested that they open the gate because they have a seriously injured patient there. But the red-haired guy immediately refused because they don't let the wounded in, as no one knows whether she was bitten by a zombie, and zombies are forbidden, to which the brunette guy concurred. And he stated that they couldn't open the gate even if they were all dying out there. Yan Yu was pissed, and she insisted that she wasn't bitten by a zombie. She was about to remove the jacket as she argued that they should open their eyes and see for themselves that it was a knife wound. But Duan Mui stopped her and urged that she should calm down and not tear the wound open again. The red-haired guy shooed them away and insisted that they couldn't come in. But the brunette guy stopped him and suggested that he should wait. The brunette guy proposed that the others could come in after paying 100 gray crystals for each, but Yan Yu has to pay 1,000 gray crystals. Young Fan immediately showed a bag full of crystal cores to the guys, and he explained that they don't have so many gray crystals at the moment, but the white crystal is worth 1,000 of them. While the red-haired guy was amazed when he saw the white crystal and remarked that they were rich, the brunette guy looked discontented, and he cursed and regretted that he should have asked for 2,000. The red-haired guy opened the gates and allowed that they should go ahead. But they were hiding knives behind them, and the red-haired guy revealed that, as usual, they would kill the man the minute they got in, as the rest of them would be a piece of cake. And with so many bags, they may be carrying more crystal cores, to which the brunette guy agreed, but he suggested that they could keep the women and trade them for crystal cores. Suddenly, Young Fan noticed something. As the brunette guy urged that they should hurry up, Young Fan noticed the reflection of his blade on the glass behind him. Young Fan smiled, and he challenged the guys if they wanted to kill him. He swung his blade at them and declared that he was afraid that they didn't have the ability. Young Fan immediately slashed the red-haired guy. The red-haired guy immediately dropped on the ground, and his blood oozed out from his body, which surprised the brunette guy. The brunette guy was enraged, and as he questioned Young Fan for killing his brother, he shouted that he should go to hell. But the brunette guy froze when Yan Yu suddenly stabbed him from the back, and she apologized for depriving him of his revenge. As the brunette guy fell on the ground, Yan Yu expressed her pain, and as she mentioned that she just tore her wound again, Young Fan got worried about her, and he remarked that she didn't have to do that. Young Fan called Young Kingsu and instructed that she should get his bag back and frisk the men, and all the crystal cores she would find were hers. Young Kingsu immediately crouched down to check the brunette guy and responded that it was no problem because it was something she was good at. As she handed Young Fan's bag back to him, Young Fan complimented that she did good. Looking at the handful of gray crystal cores she got, Young Kingsu commented that they were poor wretches because it was all they had. Meanwhile, Sinan looked concerned as he observed Young Fan and his group, and he muttered that they looked gentle but were actually ruthless murderers and thieves, so he should better find a chance to get away. Suddenly, Young Fan called a dude behind him. Young Fan noticed that someone was watching them from the upper floor, and he remarked that the dude could already go downstairs. The dude gave his applause to Young Fan. He He seemed like the boss of that place as he was surrounded by armed men in suits, and as they walked down the stairs, he stated that Young Fan is bold and powerful and asked what his name was. Young Fan gave his name, and the dude introduced that people in that place called him Mr. Bao, and he used to be in the security business, and currently, he was in charge of that base. Mr. Bao informed that he was lacking deputies and asked Young Fan if he would like to join them. Young Fan thanked Mr. Bao for the offer, but he declined, stating that they could talk about it later because his friend was injured and he heard that they have doctors there. Mr. Bao ordered his men to take them to the doctor, and the man immediately acknowledged. As the man ushered Young Fan and Yan Yu away, Mr. Bao observed that Young Fan is a great talent, so if he joins them, the base will become even more powerful, but if Young Fan refuses, he will send them out to deal with the zombies. A few moments later, the man stopped in front of a hair salon and explained that they had arrived and that it was the infirmary, so they should enter. Everyone was surprised, and as they wondered what that place was and if there was really a doctor there, they commented that it looked weird. Young Fan still entered with Yan Yu, and as they went inside, Young Fan asked if there was anybody there and requested a doctor. An old man sitting at a desk introduced himself as the doctor and asked Young Fan to bring the patient over. When Young Fan saw the doctor, he exclaimed that it was not her, the doctor he knew from before, so she hadn't come to the base yet. A few moments later, the doctor checked on Yan Yu's wound, and he diagnosed that she was injured by a sharp weapon and had lost too much blood, so she needed a blood transfusion and a tetanus shot, which would be 5,000 gray crystals in total. Sinan was surprised when he heard that it cost 5,000 gray crystals, and he was pissed as he complained that they risked their lives to get those crystals, so the doctor was being greedy. The doctor yelled at Sinan and threatened that if they didn't want to pay, they should just go back out there and wait to die because he didn't have time for that crap, so they should get out. The doctor was surprised when someone who was coming behind the curtain suddenly asked who was injured and offered to help them. On the other hand, Young Fan was astonished as he stared at the person who came out behind the curtains. It was a lady doctor, and Young Fan recognized her, the doctor who saved him last time, and remarked that she did get to the base that early. When Lin Maya-chan, the lady doctor, checked on Yan Yu and remarked that the wound was not deep but had been aggravated, and the blood loss was serious, the other doctor called her and inquired what she was doing. The doctor questioned Lin Maya-chan if she was going to treat Yan Yu for free and if she had any idea how valuable those medical supplies were. Lin Maya-chan replied that as a doctor, it was her duty to save the patient's life, so if the doctor wanted to complain, he should just tell Mr. Bao. The doctor cursed Lin Maya-chan, and he was about to hit her when he shouted that she should just stop, and as he demanded who she thought she was, he proclaimed that he was the boss there. But before he could hit Lin Maya-chan, someone stopped him and grabbed his arm. It was Young Fan, and as he challenged the doctor for daring to touch Lin Maya-chan, he asked the doctor if he wanted him to cut off his hand, and the doctor was alarmed. The doctor grumbled fine, and as he wondered if they were ganging up on him, he warned that they should wait and see because he would tell Mr. Bao about that, and he walked out of the room. Lin Maya-chan thanked Young Fan, and she requested that he wait outside because she had to remove Yan Yu's clothes and give her stitches. Young Fan responded, "You're welcome," but he suddenly proposed to Lin Maya-chan if she would be his woman, which surprised everyone. He confessed that he owed Lin Maya-chan too much in his previous life, so he was not going to let her die again. Meanwhile, his companions were astonished. Young Kingsu was wondering what the hell he was talking about. Duanmuyi wondered if it was a love confession, and Sinan cursed and exclaimed that Young Fan was really something else because he just met Lin Maya-chan. On the other hand, Lin Maya-chan was flustered, and as she apologized to Young Fan and mentioned that they were not familiar, she wondered who the playboy was and how he could say those words to her when it was the first time they had met. Young Fan suggested that Lin Maya-chan stay by his side until they were familiar, and as Lin Maya-chan retorted that he was shameless, Yan Yu was secretly sulking as she muttered that Young Fan indeed had the gift of the gab and was wondering why she felt a bit jealous. Lin Maya-chan didn't give Young Fan an answer, and she yelled at him as she demanded that he get out because his friend needed treatment. A few moments later, Lin Maya-chan came out from the other room and informed them that Young Fan and his group could come in because their friend was already doing better. As the group entered the other room, Lin Maya-chan advised that Yan Yu should avoid all strenuous exercise for a while, and she should come back in 5 days to get her stitches removed. And Young Kingsu commented that it was great that Yan Yu was already alright, to which Duanmuyi agreed. Young Fan was suddenly alarmed when he heard that someone had called Mr. Bao and announced that it was them who refused to pay for treatment. It was the doctor from earlier who called Mr. Bao, and Mr. Bao, who was with some people, politely addressed Young Fan and reminded him that surely he knew that medical resources were very precious these days, so he requested that he pay with the crystal cores. Young Fan replied that he didn't say that he wouldn't pay anything, but it was too greedy to ask for 5,000 gray crystals for a knife wound. He asked Mr. Bao if they teamed up with each other to blackmail him, which surprised one of Mr. Bao's men. The man stepped forward, and while pointing a gun at Young Fan, He demanded why Yang Fan dared to talk to Mr. Bao like that and threatened that Yang Fan was looking for a bullet. Suddenly, Yang Fan used his artisan skill, transformation, and the man was alarmed when his gun started to disassemble. The man was flabbergasted and was lost for words when he saw his gun get twisted, and Yang Fan remarked that he really hated having a gun pointed at him. Mr. Bao applauded Yang Fan again, and he observed that he didn't expect Yang Fan to have magic powers and that if he joined them, he would waive his friend's medical bill. But there was a catch. Mr. Bao was with Wu Mei, a level 1 pyromancer, and Gao Liang, a level 1 geomancer, and he declared that they would still be punished for breaking the rules. Gao Liang immediately used his skill, Surging Earth, while Wu Mei used her skill, Ghost Fireball, and Lin Maiachan screamed when she saw that those attacks were coming at her. Lin Maiachan was astonished when she saw that her feet were stuck on the floor due to Gao Liang's skill. Yang Fan quickly called Lin Maiachan and urged her to take his hand. He immediately pulled Lin Maiachan, just in time before Wu Mei's Ghost Fireball exploded. Yang Fan fell to the ground with Lin Maiachan as she leapt towards him and clung to him. He murmured that Lin Maiachan almost died again right in front of him while Lin Maiachan pushed him away as she got flustered, and she conceded that Yang Fan had real talent and was not just a playboy. Yang Fan commented that there were a lot of superhumans in that base last time, so at that moment, there were surely more than just those two, so if he fought them head-on, he wasn't sure if he could get his people out of there, so he had no choice. He agreed with Mr. Bao and offered to be his deputy and use his power to enhance that base, but he wasn't allowed to hurt Lin Maiachan. Mr. Bao was amused, and as he replied that it was no problem, he asked Yang Fan what he meant by enhancing the base with his power. Yang Fan smirked as he explained that Mr. Bao didn't seem to know much about the artisan profession, so maybe he could use that to his own advantage. Yang Fan declared that his superpower could not only transform weapons but also forge them, and currently, he could only forge level 1 weapons. But if he upgraded to level 2, he could build level 2 weapons, and in the long run, he could arm Mr. Bao with a top team. He mentioned that, however, Mr. Bao needed to provide crystal cores, metal materials, and plant and animal essence for his production. But each of his weapons cost 80% less than dealers. When Mr. Bao heard the 80%, he remarked that it was good and attractive, so it was no problem because he was going to provide Yang Fan with enough material. And if his first batch of 100 weapons was up to standard, he would give him a level 2 evolutive potion as a gift. He turned to his man and ordered that he should arrange accommodation for Yang Fan and his group, and the man immediately replied yes. Yang Kingsu exclaimed that Yang Fan was awesome, while Dunmui asked Yang Fan if he was sure that they were going to stay at that base because Mr. Bao didn't look like a good guy. Yang Fan replied that he knew, but Yan Yu's wound had just been stitched up, and they couldn't rush around at the moment, so it was a chance to have a rest, and they could cheat Mr. Bao out of crystal cores and materials. A few moments later, 2 men guarded the door of a room. Mr. Bao was in the room, and he instructed that they should keep an eye on Yang Fan, and when he made a weapon, they should take control of his companions because he was going to have Yang Fan make weapons for them all his life, to which the other man in the room chimed in, and after he added that Yang Fan would become their tool, he laughed. Wu Mei was also in the room, and she giggled as she commented that Mr. Bao was still so vicious. On the other hand, a man was ushering Yang Fan's accommodation, and he announced that their accommodation had been arranged. Suddenly, Gao Liang blocked Yang Fan's way and demanded that he go to another place because Mr. Bao had prepared materials so he could start forging immediately, and Yang Fan replied that Mr. Bao was trying to separate them deliberately, and threaten him with his companions. Yang Fan remarked that it was a pity because they were teaching fish to swim. Noticing that Yang Fan was separated from the group, Yang Kingsu called him and offered to go with him. But Gao Liang refused, saying that the warehouse was full of their treasures, so Yang Kingsu couldn't go there at will. Yang Fan reassured her that it was okay, so she should have a good rest because he would be right back, and Yang Kingsu sulked, but she still agreed. A few moments later, someone typed a password on a keypad lock. It was Gao Liang, and the door suddenly opened with a loud bang. There was an open safe inside the room, and Gao Liang informed that there were 5,000 gray crystals, and Mr. Bao wanted him to try those gray crystals first. Gao Liang warned that if Yang Fan failed, he and his friends would be thrown out to the zombies. Yang Fan noted that he was just giving it a try, but they had provided him with so many crystals, so it seemed that they had a lot of heavy firepower to acquire so many crystal cores in such a short time. Gao Liang pointed to the other side of the room and stated that there were some materials that they didn't know if they were useful. There was a pile of different items, and Gao Liang mentioned that they were souvenirs that they picked up after the fight, so Yang Fan could use them if he needed them. When Yang Fan heard Gao Liang call them souvenirs, he criticized that it was a waste because with those materials, he could forge a batch of special equipment for the team. Yang Fan declared that he didn't like people around when he was forging weapons, so Gao Liang should go outside to keep watch. Gao Liang agreed, but he reminded Yang Fan that the warehouse was built according to the specifications of a B-class bank vault, so even bombs couldn't blow it off, and the door was the only way out, so Yang Fan shouldn't try to play any tricks. A few moments later, Yang Fan went to the pile of items, and as he grabbed some, he identified that it was a mutant white ox hort, a level 1 space crystal, and level 1 rare and flexible metals, and he commented that it seemed they really didn't know the value of those materials. Yang Fan inspected the items, and he observed that although the space crystal was small, it was enough to make a storage necklace with 1 cubic capacity, and he could use other materials to forge some special equipment for his companions to enhance their power so they could get out of there later. He placed the materials on the floor. Yang Fan used his artisan skill, transformation, and began transforming the materials he laid on the floor. He created 10 level 1 long blades, a level 1 shield, level 1 scanning glasses, level 1 body armor, a level 1 space necklace, and a level 1 desert eagle. Yang Fan sat on the floor, and as he wore the space necklace, he let out a sigh and acknowledged that it was beyond his limit to forge so much equipment at one time. He absorbed the items using the space necklace and decided that he needed to hide those weapons in case the others found them. Yang Fan used his ring to absorb the gray crystals in the safe, and he planned to take some crystals and leave the rest as bait. Meanwhile, outside the door, a man stood guard with Gao Liang, and he asked Gao Liang if Yang Fan could actually turn the pile of stuff into weapons. Gao Liang replied that he thought Yang Fan could do it with his rare superpower, and he had to work for them anyway. He had a dark expression on his face when he remembered something, and he commented that the girls with Yang Fan were pretty and seemed like virgins, so if he got a chance, he would like to sleep with them. Gao Liang was astonished when the door suddenly opened with a loud bang. It was Yang Fan, and Gao Liang got nervous when Yang Fan glared at him and threatened that he was going to kill him, even if he was a superhuman if he dared to do anything to his friends. Gao Liang cursed at Yang Fan and demanded to know how he dared to say such a thing. But Yang Fan ignored Gao Liang's words and replied that he should remember his words and go check the weapons that made Gao Liang curse Yang Fan again, and he warned that if those weapons were not up to standard, Yang Fan would be dead meat. As soon as he entered the room, Gao Liang found the level 1 long blades Yang Fan created lying on the floor. Gao Liang was surprised, and he exclaimed that Yang Fan had a few tricks up his sleeve because he used only 3,600 gray crystals and some discarded souvenir materials to make 10 level 1 long blades, for which they would have to pay at least 6,000 gray crystals if they bought them from the dealers. Yang Fan explained that he could only forge 10 weapons a day with his current level. Gao Liang swung the long blade to test it out, and it cut through the item really easily. He glanced over at Yang Fan, and he remarked that level 1 weapons were damn good, so Yang Fan was of great use to them, and he couldn't do anything to him. But he had a younger sister, so he should wait and see. Yang Fan suggested that since Gao Liang got the weapons, it was time for him to show their sincerity and take him to his friends. Gao Liang pointed at the man he was with and ordered him to take Yang Fan to his women, to which the man immediately agreed. A few moments later, the man led Yang Fan towards a room. Yang Fan noted that he only gave them 10 weapons that time, and they were happy, so Mr. Bao would probably offer him the evolutive potion for more weapons when the man ushered him towards the door. The man grabbed the knob to open it. The girls inside the room had just finished their bath and were still in their underwear when Yang Fan entered, and they were all surprised. Yan Yu screamed and covered her chest while Duan Mui asked Yang Fan why he didn't knock. But Yang Fan just ignored them and kept walking into the room while taking the space necklace off. Yang Fan summoned the equipment out of the space necklace, and he stated that he forged them some equipment. Yang Kingsu's eyes twinkled, and she was amazed as she exclaimed that there was much stuff in the necklace. She quickly grabbed the space necklace from Yang Fan's hand. Yang Kingsu started shaking the space necklace and joked that the treasures should come out. Yang Fan patted Yang Kingsu's head and explained that the level 1 space necklace was a treasure itself, and it had a storage space of 1 cubic meter so she could put whatever she wanted in it. And Yang Kingsu announced that she was going to fill it with snacks and thanked Yang Fan. He gave the level 2 Desert Eagle with endless bullets and the level 1 scanning glasses for analyzing items to Yan Yu and Duan Mui, and he mentioned that those items were specially made for the two of them. When Yan Yu heard that it was a level 2 pistol with endless bullets, she exclaimed that it was amazing and that they didn't have to be afraid of zombies anymore. While Duan Mui complimented Yang Fan and expressed her amazement because the glasses could analyze items. Suddenly, Sinan entered the room, and when Yang Fan saw him, he remarked that he showed up just in time. Yang Fan gave the level 1 shield to Sinan and explained that it could be enlarged to defend against attacks by mutants below level 1, so he should take it, and Sinan was amazed as he expressed that he had a level 1 shield. Yang Fan gave the level 1 body armor to Lin Maiachen, and he informed her that it was for her as it could also defend against attacks by mutants below level 1, so she should put it on. Lin Maiachen was flustered as she teased Yang Fan, calling him a pervert, and wondered if he couldn't make it in another style, but she still thanked him. On the other hand, Mr. Bao was in a room with two ladies that were all over him while Gao Liang showed the long blades to him, and as he asked Gao Liang if Yang Fan forged those weapons, Gao Liang confirmed that they looked like level 1 weapons, but he didn't know how good they were in use. Mr. Bao swung one of the long blades and suggested that they should try it out. The table in front of Mr. Bao quickly got cut in half, and it filled the room with a loud sound when it collapsed on the floor. Mr. Bao stated that it was good because it was as sharp as his level 1 dagger. So Gao Liang should go get more crystal cores with his team the next day because it only cost 3,600 gray crystals to forge 10 blades, which was much cheaper than the dealer's price. Gao Liang agreed that it was no problem, but he asked Mr. Bao if they should arrest Yang Fan's woman so that he could do nothing but forge equipment for them at the base forever. Mr. Bao dismissed the idea, saying there was no hurry because Yang Fan couldn't get out of there, and one of the women he was with teased him, saying he was bad and that she liked the way he was. Early in the morning, Gao Liang's team rode their motorcycles out of the base. Gao Liang was leading them, and he instructed that except for the firepower unit, all of them should use the long blades forged by Yang Fan because they were going to run out of firepower sooner or later. But the cold weapons were durable, to which one of his members speculated that maybe Yang Fan would be able to make firearms too, and at that time, their base would be indestructible. Meanwhile, someone was watching the team leaving the bases through the window. It was Yang Fan, and he observed that the team even had American-made heavy machine guns, so it was no wonder that they got so many rare materials, and at that moment, they were probably going out to fight the mutants again. Yang Fan concluded that it seemed that Mr. Bao was very satisfied with the weapons he forged the other day, so he sent his men to collect crystal cores and rare materials for him so he would put them to good use. Sinan was startled when someone knocked on their door, and as he called Yang Fan, he remarked that someone came there for him. When he opened the door, Yang Fan was startled when he saw that a woman was standing in front of it. It was Lin Maiachun, and she informed that the leader, Wu Mei, who is Gao Liang's mistress, was in the living room. Yang Fan came into the living room with Lin Maiachun, where Wu Mei was waiting. Wu Mei stated that she had been waiting for Yang Fan for a long time because that day's materials were ready, so she wondered if she would have the honor to see how he forged such powerful weapons. Yang Fan replied that maybe in the afternoon because his superpower hadn't fully recovered yet, so he couldn't make them at the moment. He explained that Mr. Bao not only sent people to get materials but also urged him to forge, so he did have great ambition, which was good. Wu Mei reached out to Yang Fan as she suggested that he shouldn't be so fierce because she would wait there or in his room, and in her mind, she thought that when he got Yang Fan seduced, of course, he was going to make her some special weapons. But Yang Fan grabbed her hand to stop her from touching him, and he declared that he was going out that morning. Wu Mei asked Yang Fan where he was going because she would go with him, while in her mind, she was wondering how come Yang Fan was indifferent to her and pondered that she had to do something. Yang Fan inquired if he was right that there must be dealers at that big base. Wu Mei confirmed yes, but Yang Fan had to pay 3,000 gray crystals per time if he wanted to trade with the dealer. When Yang Fan heard that it cost 3,000, he exclaimed that it was a rip-off, but he decided not to care because Mr. Bao was going to pay for him. Yang Fan requested that Wu Mei should take him to the dealer because he needed to exchange some medicine, to which Wu Mei agreed and indicated that he should follow her. A few moments later, Wu Mei led Yang Fan into a bathroom that was guarded by 4 people. Wu Mei ordered that they should open the door because she brought them another customer. As one of the guards ushered Yang Fan towards the dealer inside, he noted that the 4 guards were all armed, so he couldn't fight against them head-on. Suddenly, Yang Fan noticed that it was a level 2 dealer, and he muttered that the dealer must have something that he needed. The guard requested that Yang Fan pay for the 3,000 gray crystals, so Yang Fan handed him a bag and instructed that he should take it. After checking the gray crystals on the bag, the guard warned that Yang Fan should remember that 3,000 crystal cores were only for 5 minutes inside, so after 5 minutes, they would force him out, to which Yang Fan agreed. Yang Fan stood in front of the dealer and declared that the transaction had begun. The items he could purchase were displayed in front of Yang Fan, and when he saw them, he observed that it seemed that Mr. Bao had bought up all the evolutive potions and other good stuff, so it was no wonder he already allowed others to trade. Yang Fan saw the challenging field, Mechanical Blast Bear random level, and he commented that they had already failed twice, so it seemed that Mr. Bao asked his people to challenge it before, and they quit when they failed. He recalled that a rare dealer with a challenging field was contended by bases in his previous life, as they all wanted to accumulate strength and equipment in the challenging field, so it was already his turn. Yang Fan purchased the challenging field, and he mused that a level 2 dealer normally wouldn't pick high-level challenging fields, so he should give it a try because if he succeeded in the challenge, he may have a windfall. He was startled when he suddenly heard something beeping. The beeping continued, and the space around Yang Fan began to warp. The warp in space brought Yang Fan somewhere, and he aggressively landed on the ground. Young Fan was brought into a gloomy arena. He remarked that the passage of time in the challenging field was different from the outside world, and it was about 10 times slower than the outside world, so he had 50 minutes. Suddenly, a huge mechanical claw stepped on the ground and made a loud thud. Young Fan was astonished by what he saw. He was facing a huge mechanical blast bear, and its roar was powerful enough to create a strong gust of wind around the arena. Young Fan quickly summoned his blade and stated that the best defense is offense. Suddenly, the mechanical blast bear swung its arms, and it made a loud clanging sound as Young Fan blocked it with his blade, and he admitted that it was powerful. Seeing the crystal on the mechanical blast bear's head, Young Fan was alarmed, and he exclaimed that it was a level 3 bear. The mechanical blast bear roared loudly, and Young Fan cursed as he got sent flying by its attack. Young Fan crashed into the ground, and he was followed by a huge explosion as the mechanical blast bear threw something at him. He dodged the explosion, and as the fire burned fiercely in front of him, the mechanical blast bear roared again. Young Fan was astonished, and he remarked that the bear was better than him in strength, speed, and defense, so the chance to win was too slim. But there is nothing without a weakness in that world, because even a level 8 or 9 monster has weak points. As the mechanical blast bear was about to swing its claws at Young Fan once again, Young Fan realized something, and he muttered that it should be the bear's weakness. Young Fan quickly swung his blade to block the mechanical blast bear's attack. He used his skill, paralyzing blow, and the mechanical blast bear roared in pain. Young Fan was surprised when he saw that his attack just slowed the mechanical blast bear down, so he noted that the paralyzing blow of his level 2 blade was too weak. But he continued that it was enough, and he jumped towards the mechanical blast bear while swinging his blade up in the air. Young Fan quickly slashed the mechanical blast bear's throat, and the bear had its final roar. Blood spurted out of the mechanical blast bear's throat, and it fell backward. When the mechanical blast bear hit the ground with a loud thud, a voice cursed and exclaimed that the stupid bear lost. Another commented that it was fascinating. Another added that it was getting more and more interesting and laughed. Young Fan was alarmed when he heard that, so he quickly looked in the direction where the voices came from and asked who it was. But the system suddenly transported him back while notifying him that he succeeded in the challenge and got 1 level up in his artisan profession as the award. When Young Fan saw that his skill reached level 2, he declared that he didn't risk his life for nothing, and that it was worth it. Suddenly, the guards announced that there were 5 seconds left, so they should get ready to drag him out. But Young Fan came out of the room and informed them that there was no need because he was out. One of the guards ordered that they should surround Young Fan and frisk him, and everyone quickly went into position. Young Fan dared them because he was one of the deputies of the base appointed by Mr. Bao, and he asked them if they wanted to die. One of the guards stated that it was the rule because 3,000 gray crystals was just the access fee to the dealer, and Young Fan had to hand over half of what he bought. Wu Mei chimed in and suggested that Young Fan should just let the guards search because if Mr. Bao knew about it, his companions may be in danger because of his impulse. But Young Fan glared at her and retorted that what he hated the most was someone threatening him with his companions. Young Fan explained that he bought nothing because the dealer didn't have the medicine that he was looking for. The guard grinned evilly and commented that everyone says so when they come out. But the truth is that they all lie. Young Fan questioned the guard what would happen if he couldn't find anything from him, and the guard confidently promised that if he couldn't, he's going to cut off his head, and Young Fan could kick it around like a ball because no one would believe that Young Fan had no transaction in 5 minutes. Young Fan agreed and proposed that they should frisk him and that the guard should remember what he promised. The guard ordered the others and instructed them to search every part of Young Fan's body, even the underwear. A few moments later, the other guards reported back, and one of them reported that there was nothing in Young Fan's clothes, while the other confirmed that there was nothing in Young Fan's underwear, and there were only 4 gray crystals in his bag. The guard was astonished, and he inquired how that was possible. Suddenly, one of the guards was alarmed when Young Fan grabbed his rifle, and he questioned Young Fan what he was doing. But Young Fan did not respond and quickly shot one of the guards in the head. It was the guard who made the promise, and as Young Fan declared that the guard's head was his, the other guards were astonished that they cursed. Wu Mei was alarmed when Young Fan glared at her and asked her if she wanted another round. She nervously responded that there was no need. Wu Mei blushed when Young Fan threatened that he was going to cut off her head as well if she dared to threaten him again, and she complimented that he was awesome, that she was smitten with him. But Young Fan ignored Wu Mei and kept walking, so she chased after him and pleaded that he shouldn't leave because she wanted to be his companion too. Wu Mei swooped in and held Young Fan's arm, and with a smile on her face, she asked him if she could see how he makes weapons since she had taken him to the dealer. Young Fan pushed Wu Mei away and told her to scram because he was not interested in another man's mistress. Wu Mei was pissed that Young Fan dared to despise her, and she vowed that one day she would make him submit to her charm and be her personal slave. It was still morning, and Lin Maya-chun, who checked on Yan Yu's wound, mentioned that her wound was almost healed and asked Yan Yu why her healing speed was much faster than ordinary people. Yan Yu explained that it was because she was a level 1 evolver, and as Lin Maya-chun realized that it was the case, she remarked that she heard evolved superhumans have incredible powers, but she never thought of the ability to heal, which was magnificent. Meanwhile, in the living room, the others sat on the sofa, and as Yang Kingsu noted that Yang Fan had left for too long, she inquired why he hadn't come back. Duanmui reassured Yang Kingsu that she shouldn't worry because Yang Fan would be fine. But the problem was that Mr. Bao locked them there without providing water and food, and their packs of food would only be enough for one more day. Yang Kingsu sulked, and Sinan commented that she couldn't blame him for that because he was worried about the food shortage, so he didn't eat much in the past few days. Suddenly, Yang Fan entered the room and announced that there was no need to worry about that. Everyone got excited, and Yang Kingsu exclaimed that Yang Fan was back. Without saying anything, Yang Fan summoned food from his ring. Everyone was amazed. Yang Fan informed them that those should be enough and that Mr. Bao gave him those after he finished forging. And Yang Kingsu complimented that Yang Fan was awesome because there were many snacks. Duanmui looked relieved as she acknowledged that it looked like she was overthinking while Sinan cried and exclaimed that it was delicious, and that he could finally stuff his empty stomach. Yang Fan suggested that they should take their time. He instructed them to watch the door and ensure no one enters because he had to deal with some business, while in his mind, he thought that he found a special material when making the weapons that time, so he could try his current power on it. In between munching on her snacks, Yang Kingsu assured him that it was no problem because she would definitely watch the door, while Sinan agreed. Sinan turned to Zishi and encouraged her to eat more because she was as skinny as him, while Yang Kingsu, walking away with food in her arm, remarked that she would bring some to Yan Yu and Lin Maya-chun because they must be starving. A few moments later, Yang Fan was in his room, and while inspecting his blade, he explained that there were 9 levels in the artisan profession. Levels 1-3 were the elementary phase, levels 4-6 were the intermediate phase, and levels 7-9 were the advanced phase. Yang Fan recalled that only one person reached the advanced phase in his previous life, and the fortress-like base he made was indestructible. Even superhumans at similar levels could do nothing about it, and that made him so special among the leaders of every super base because every base wanted to be shaped like a fortress. He looked determined, and he vowed that he could make it in that life. Yang Fan noted that a level 1 artisan needed precious materials to add new functions to weapons, while a level 2 artisan could add new functions with even the most ordinary materials, and with rare materials added, one may even add higher level functions. Pulling out an item, Yang Fan identified that it was the rare mutated level 2 ballast found from the material pile that day. As Yang Fan used his artisan skill, transformation, he mused that if the fusion worked, his blade would not only level up beyond level 2 but might also obtain new functions. Yang Fan's blade crackled as it transformed, and it turned into a fiery blade. Inspecting the blade, Yang Fan noted that it had no special functions, and he worried as he questioned if he failed, but he concluded that there was no way. Yang Fan decided to swing the blade, and it released a powerful explosive fire that created a loud boom. The fire did not disappear, and as it shrouded the blade, Yang Fan recognized that it was a peerless mutated fiery weapon, which was worth tens of thousands of white crystals in the previous life. A few moments later, Mr. Bao was in a room inspecting the long blades, and he observed that the quality of the weapons made that day was not bad, but not long after, their bullets would run out and they would kill the zombies with blades. Gao Liang asked Mr. Bao if he was really going to give Yang Fan a level 2 evolutive potion once he made 100 blades because it was worth 100 white crystals. Mr. Bao scoffed, and as he asked Gao Liang how it was possible when the last potion was for him, he stated that when Yang Fan finished 99 blades, he would judge any blade made afterward as a failure. 7 days later, Yang Fan continued to make more blades. Yang Fan crafted a silk armor set with his artisan transformation skill, and he remarked that he only needed to make several more blades to reach 100 blades, and what was left there was only enough to make a set of silk armor. As he stored the armor silk in his ring, Yang Fan noted that it was time for the weekly bargaining purchase, and as he commented that he got an artisan card last time, he wondered what he was going to encounter that time. A few moments later, Yang Fan went to the dealers, where 2 guards stood by the entrance. The guards quickly saluted Yang Fan when they saw him and addressed him as Deputy Yang. One of the guards politely requested Yang Fan 3,000 gray crystals for access. Yang Fan handed a bag to the guard and instructed him to take it, while in his mind, he reflected that Deputy Yang was just an empty title without benefits. So as soon as he got the evolutive potion, he was going to leave. He stood in front of the dealer and declared that the transaction had begun. The items appeared in front of Yang Fan, and he looked up to them. Yang Fan used his ring to refresh the dealer's item, and he urged it to come on and not let him down. One of the items refreshed and summoned a new item. Young Fan was startled when he saw it. He was surprised as he remarked that it was the scarcest sage card in the previous life where a level 8 sage could determine the fate of both the living and the dead, and he was the person every super base fought for. Young Fan finished the transaction, and as he walked away, he explained that he had to persuade Lin Maya-chun to leave with them because that card was made for her, and the power of his team would be reinforced. He thought of Xiaoao and that he should wait for him. When Young Fan came out of the restroom, he saw Wu Mei, and she exclaimed that it took her so long to find him. On the other hand, someone knocked on the door where Young Fan's companions were staying, and as Yang Qingsu ran towards the door and shouted that Young Fan was back, Yan Yu asked why Young Fan returned so early that day. But Yang Qingsu was surprised when she opened the door and saw Gao Liang. She nervously inquired why Gao Liang was there and where her brother was, and Gao Liang replied that she was going to see him soon, but before that, she was his. Gao Liang was with other men, which he ordered and commanded that they should go get and tie those girls up because he was going to have sex with them one by one, and the men immediately agreed. One of the men knew Yan Yu, and he sneered that he and the witch met again, so it was time to avenge his buddy Han Liang. Yan Yu pointed her pistol at them. She warned that they should stay put because she was going to shoot anyone who moved, and that Yang Fan was the deputy, so if they dared to touch them, his women, he wouldn't let them off. One of the men panicked and shouted that Yan Yu had a gun, but the other responded that they had that too and asked what the fuss was. Gao Liang called Yan Yu a witch and mocked that her gun was not even able to penetrate his rock skin, so she shouldn't embarrass herself. But Yan Yu challenged that they should see and fired her gun at Gao Liang. The bullet damaged Gao Liang's rock skin, and he got so pissed that his eyes glimmered while he cursed Yan Yu and snarled that she had some guts. Gao Liang noted that it turned out to be a level 2 weapon, and Yang Fan hit a high-level weapon. Yan Yu was astonished when Gao Liang suddenly charged towards her. Gao Liang slapped the gun off Yan Yu's hand, and he taunted that she was too slow and that as long as she didn't have the weapon, she was just a nobody. While grabbing Yan Yu by the neck, Gao Liang ordered his men to charge. He cursed as he demanded how they could get intimidated by a girl and promised that whoever caught those girls would be awarded. Lin Maya-chun and Duan Muyi were wielding knives while they tried to protect the group, and as they got cornered, they yelled that the men should stay away. Duan Muyi commented that she could see through the men's weaknesses, and the glasses Yang Fan gave her could help. But she was surprised when Lin Maya-chun suddenly charged with her knife, and the man managed to block her attack by grabbing her arm. Lin Maya-chun called Sinan and Yang Qingsu and urged that they should find Yang Fan immediately, to which Sinan agreed. As they tried to run, one of the guys caught Yang Qingsu, and as he mocked them if they were counting on Sinan to take them to Yang Fan, he boasted that they could only wish because a loser would always be a loser. Yang Qingsu screamed and demanded that the bad man let go of her. On the other hand, Sinan and Zishi got angry when they heard what the man said. Sinan pointed at the man, and as he instructed Zishi to bite him, Zishi quickly jumped at the man. The man screamed in pain as Zishi scratched his face. While everyone was fighting, Gao Liang suddenly commanded that they should all stop. Gao Liang was grabbing both Lin Maya-chun and Yan Yu by their necks, and he threatened that if they made one more move, he was going to crush their heads. Sinan cursed, and he got worried for Yan Yu and Lin Maya-chun, while Duan Muyi cursed that Gao Liang was a bastard. The men grabbed Duan Muyi and Sinan from behind. One of the men faced Zishi, and he declared that he would kill the beast. The man believed that perhaps it was a mutated cat, so he better not attack it for the meantime and shoot it later. Gao Liang stated that the men should take Duan Muyi and Sinan away, and that Mr. Bao will be happy when he sees those level 2 weapons. On the other hand, Yang Fan inquired Wu Mei what was up. Wu Mei announced that Gao Liang and a bunch of his men went to Yang Fan's dorm. Yang Fan questioned what they were up to. Wu Mei uttered that, of course, they wanted to capture Yang Fan and his companions, and she supposed that some people came there for him too. She remarked that Yang Fan shouldn't rush off because they outnumber him and he can't defeat them. Wu Mei suggested a deal between her and Yang Fan, and she noted that she would help Yang Fan save his companions while Yang Fan would give her the level 2 evolutive potion that Mr. Bao gave him. Yang Fan mentioned that Wu Mei should get away. Wu Mei considered that Yang Fan would regret it. A lot of men came charging in and observed that they should hurry because Yang Fan was still in the forge and they shouldn't let him get away. Yang Fan presumed that it looked like Wu Mei didn't lie to him, and Yan Yu and the others may have been captured. He figured that they must be locked in the dungeon, and he was familiar with that place in his previous life because after being saved by Lin Maya-chun in his previous life, he was kept in a dungeon as a coolie, and when Lin Maya-chun was executed, he escaped in the chaos. Yang Fan supposed that since Mr. Bao made his move, he doesn't have to pretend anymore, and he is going to make him pay for everything he did to him in the previous life and in that life. A few moments later, Yang Fan went to the dungeon, and it was filled with armed guards. Yang Fan quietly observed the guards from a distance. He commented that it was time to use the silk armor. Yang Fan merged the silk armor into his body. His body started releasing a golden aura, and he shone. The golden aura was powerful, and it drowned the entire area with its light. Meanwhile, one of Gao Liang's men pushed Yang Fan's companion in a room and recounted that they should get in. Yan Yu explained that they can't sit there and do nothing. Duan Mui agreed and pronounced that her scanning glasses tell her that the rope around Yan Yu's wrist was worn. She revealed that Yan Yu should use the shard of glass in her hand, and she could untie it easily. Yang Qingsu reported that Duan Mui was smart. Meanwhile, Sinan expressed that Zishi should be good and not make any noise while he breaks the rope with his teeth. On the other hand, Duan Mui moved closer to Yan Yu to use the glass shard. Duan Mui slowly cuts Yan Yu's rope, but the light gets reflected on the glass. One of the men outside the room noticed it and queried where the light came from. He quickly opened the room, which surprised Duan Mui and Yan Yu. The man probed if they played tricks and cursed them. Yan Yu declared that the man was a scum, and as she questioned him for daring to hit a woman, he cursed. Meanwhile, Sinan stated that Zishi did well. He remarked that the man bullied a woman, so he would kill him as he was a scum. Another man suddenly came in, and he warned that Sinan should stop and not move, or he would shoot him. The first man cursed Sinan and questioned him for daring to hit him. He threatened that he would definitely kill Sinan while cursing him, and Yan Yu announced that the man should stop. Zishi approached them, and he meowed aggressively at the man. The man demanded that the other man should give him the gun. He insisted that Zishi should shut up, and he would kill him first. Sinan urged that the man shouldn't hurt Zishi, and Yang Qingsu got worried for him. The man cursed, and as he decreed that Sinan should die then, Duan Mui exclaimed that the man should stop. Suddenly, a shoe came flying towards the man at an incredible speed. The man screamed in pain as the shoe hit his face. He cursed and inquired who threw the shoe at him. Yang Fan responded that it was him. He proclaimed that he would get the man later, but since he showed up himself, he would kill him immediately. The man retorted that they would see and ordered the others to shoot Yang Fan and fire. Yan Yu advised that Yang Fan should leave and not mind them, while Yang Qingsu cautioned that Yang Fan shouldn't come over. But Yang Fan just stood there while the men fired their bullets at him. He prepared to attack, and the fire in his sword intensified. Yang Fan observed that it was child's play. The guards were surprised when they saw that the bullets they fired got cut in half. They fired more bullets at Yang Fan, and Yang Fan created an orb to protect himself from the bullet. The guards asserted that Yang Fan was a monster and the bullets couldn't touch him. Yang Fan swung his sword. He decapitated the guards and pronounced that they should die. Duan Mui praised that it was awesome while Lin Maiachan queried if it was Yang Fan's real strength. Suddenly, the man took Yang Qingsu as a hostage, and he commanded that Yang Fan should let him go or he and Yang Qingsu would die together. Yang Fan was speechless, and he was troubled by the situation. Lin Maiachan suddenly commented that the man was an asshole and that she would kick him to death. Yang Qingsu quickly ran towards Yang Fan while the man fell on the floor. The man pointed his gun at Lin Maiachan and roared that she should go to hell. But he was horrified when he saw that his hand got cut off. Yang Fan concluded that the man had no other chance. He plunged his sword into the man's head, and blood spurted out of it. Yang Fan stated that they had fallen out with Mr. Bao, so everyone should get ready to leave the base, and Sinan remarked okay. Mr. Bao suddenly inquired Yang Fan if he wanted to leave. He noted that there was no way. Mr. Bao declared that he treated Yang Fan well, yet he killed his men, and Gao Liang voiced that there should be no more talks as Mr. Bao should kill Yang Fan and avenge their men. Yan Yu announced that she will shoot whoever touches Yang Fan. And while Sinan deployed his shield, Duan Mui commented that she would scan and analyze the weaknesses. Mr. Bao pronounced that he will give Yang Fan another chance due to his respect for him. So as long as he hands over any member of his team, he will still be Deputy Yang, and he will forgive what he has done. Yang Fan expressed that it sounded good because Mr. Bao has heavy weapons and superhumans, while what he has are several women and a fat man, so they are throwing a straw against the wind if they fight. Yan Yu observed that Yang Fan should hand her over because he saved her life. On the other hand, Sinan considered that he was the most useless, and he tricked them into the base back then. Lin Maiachan suddenly disagreed and mentioned that Yang Fan should hand her over because she was the latest one to join the team and she belongs to the base. Yang Fan queried them why they argued and articulated that he just appreciated Mr. Bao's proposal. Duan Mui called Yang Fan and pronounced that the weak point of the wall behind them is at the junction of the 3.3 meter x-axis and the 5.2 meter y-axis. Yang Fan swung his sword at the wall. He uttered that he will never give up on his teammates. A loud booming sound was produced when the wall collapsed. Yang Fan proclaimed that everyone should run. Lin Maiachan and Duan Mui believed that Yang Fan didn't give up on them. Meanwhile, Mr. Bao vocalized that the guards should fire. He conveyed that they should get Yang Fan and his companions alive or dead and that they shouldn't let the brat run away. Sinan affirmed that everyone should go and that he will cover them. Suddenly, Gao Liang jumped above Sinan and insisted that he should take his attack. Sinan was horrified, and he screamed. Yang Fan suddenly attacked Gao Liang and revealed that he risked his neck. Gao Liang concluded that Yang Fan was just at the right time and used his skill, Lapidify Rock Blades. Yang Fan quickly moved to the side to dodge Gao Liang's attack. He held his sword with both his hands. Gao Liang was alarmed when he saw that Yang Fan was able to dodge his attacks and charged straight at him. Yang Fan swung his sword at Gao Liang. Gao Liang screamed in pain as his neck got slashed. He questioned how that was possible and how Yang Fan could break his level 1 lapidifying power. Yang Fan jumped off the ground without answering Gao Liang's question. He raised his sword above his head as he lunged at Gao Liang. Yang Fan stressed that Gao Liang would have no chance to know the reason. Yang Fan noticed Yan Yu's gun, and he believed that Gao Liang didn't give it to Mr. Bao as he wanted to keep it himself, and it was a pity that he couldn't make it. Yang Qingsu suddenly called Yang Fan and stated that he should come out. Yan Yu declared that Yang Fan should grab her hand. On the other hand, Mr. Bao uttered that the guards shouldn't let Yang Fan and the others run away. He remarked that Yang Fan killed his man, so he will make him pay with his life, and the guards announced yes. Sinan shielded Yang Fan from the bullets and voiced that Yang Fan should go. But Yang Fan took Sinan's shield and pronounced that he should go first. Sinan thanked Yang Fan and commented that the shield was too heavy, while Yan Yu explained that he should come up. Suddenly, one of the guards launched a rocket at them. A huge explosion occurred, and Yan Yu shared that Yang Fan should watch out. Yang Fan looked behind him and saw that rocks fell from the ceiling. He immediately rushed towards the rubble. Yang Fan quickly climbed out of the hole he created. As soon as he got out, the hole crumbled. Yang Qingsu mentioned that Yang Fan was sharp earlier and that they should go because the hole is blocked, so Mr. Bao couldn't catch up with them for a while, and Yang Fan noted okay. Yang Fan observed that he got Yan Yu's gun back, and Yan Yu thanked Yang Fan. Yan Yu considered that Yang Fan remembered to take her weapon under that situation. Suddenly, the hole that collapsed and was covered exploded. Mr. Bao called Yang Fan and reported that none of them could leave because he was already so angry. Yang Qingsu indicated that Mr. Bao was a monster, and Yan Yu revealed that she shouldn't be afraid and that she should go as she will cover for her. Yan Yu fired her bullets, but Mr. Bao easily dodged all of them. Mr. Bao inquired if that was it. He articulated that he is a level 2 beast superhuman. Yang Fan quickly moved in front of Yan Yu. He used his sword to block Mr. Bao's claws. Yang Fan asserted that everyone should get out of there because beast superhumans are more powerful than ordinary humans, so they are no match for Mr. Bao. He cursed and specified that zombies also came there. Mr. Bao claimed that Yang Fan was a bastard and cursed him. He released his powerful aura and sliced the zombies around him in half. Yang Fan quickly deployed the shield and insisted that everyone should stay behind him. He maintained that Mr. Bao's aura was powerful. Du and Mui suddenly affirmed that they should go and that there was a car. Yang Qingsu called Yang Fan and pointed out that they should go, but Yang Fan emphasized that they should go because he will stall Mr. Bao. When Mr. Bao heard that Yang Fan would stall him, he warned that Yang Fan courted death, and that he would break his legs and prevent him from escaping, so he would make weapons for him at the base forever with his paralyzed body. He wrapped his hands with his aura and placed it on the ground. Mr. Bao cautioned that if Yang Fan would dare to disobey him, he will have his men assault his women under his nose. He jumped off the ground and charged towards Yang Fan. Mr. Bao threatened that he will make Yang Fan's life a living hell. Yang Fan remarked that they should see who would die first. Mr. Bao inquired Yang Fan if a level 1 loser wanted to fight against him head-on. Yang Fan swung his sword at Mr. Bao, and Mr. Bao was taken aback. Mr. Bao queried how Yang Fan's damned blade could cut off his claws. When Yang Fan heard what Mr. Bao uttered, he stated that it was a mystery weapon that he made with the materials he gave him, and he believed that he was at a lower level than Mr. Bao, so he better threaten him with the fiery blade to buy some time. Mr. Bao commented that Yang Fan was lying because those materials are just a load of crap, and Yang Fan noted that he could only make level 1 weapons. Yang Fan observed that Mr. Bao was naive and questioned him if he really believed what he asserted. Mr. Bao considered that level 1 weapons could never harm him, and as he wondered if the blade could be a level 2 or even a level 3 weapon, he mused that he should make his move after Wu Mei and her men shoot Yang Fan with heavy weapons. Suddenly, a car that drove towards Yang Fan went into an abrupt halt. Yang Qingsu called Yang Fan and mentioned that he should get in the car. Yang Fan proclaimed that Mr. Bao was an idiot and that he was tricked. Mr. Bao cursed in his mind, and he figured that Yang Fan lied because the brat was no match for him, and he was just bluffing, stalling for time. He announced that Yang Fan can't run away. Yan Yu quickly aimed her gun at Mr. Bao. She cursed and pointed out that she can't shoot Mr. Bao as he could dodge her bullets even if she predicted his move, and that he was a powerful beast superhuman. Yan Yu pressed what they should do because Mr. Bao was getting closer. Yang Fan indicated that they should drive to the city center, to the place with the largest number of zombies, and Sinan probed if that wasn't equal to suicide. Sinan cursed and added that Mr. Bao was nearby. Du and Mui maintained that Yang Fan was meaning to use the zombies to stop the monster, to which Yang Fan conveyed that Du and Mui was clever and that zombies under level 1 can't break into the car. Sinan voiced that there were too many zombies and screamed. Yang Fan insisted that they should speed up. Meanwhile, Mr. Bao roared loudly and released his powerful aura to deter the zombies. Young Kingsu predicted that Mr. Bao would be eaten by zombies, and Yang Fan was right. But Mr. Bao cursed, and he intensified the aura he released to eliminate the zombies around him. His aura was powerful that it almost reached the car where Yang Fan and the others were in. Mr. Bao started chasing after the car again. Duanmu sought to know how that was possible and affirmed that Mr. Bao was following them again. Yang Kingsu informed that Duanmu should speed up because Mr. Bao was about to catch them. Duanmu sped up like she was told. Suddenly, she exclaimed that there was something ahead. A huge zombie walked towards them. Yang Fan revealed that it was a level 3 zombie. Yang Fan stated that the city center was once densely populated, so it was no wonder that a zombie king appeared within such a short time. Sinan inquired if a level 3 zombie was powerful and if those zombies weren't senseless and easy to get killed, to which Yang Fan remarked that it was not like that because level 3 zombies already have some special powers, and compared with Mr. Bao, those immortal and bloodthirsty things are more terrifying. The level 3 zombie quickly jumped off the ground and charged towards Yang Fan. Behind Yang Fan, Mr. Bao roared and declared that Yang Fan had nowhere to go. Yang Fan mentioned that they have zombies and Mr. Bao as their enemies, and they can't escape, so he will stay while everyone goes. But Yang Kingsu objected no and that Yang Fan should go with them. Yan Yu agreed and asserted that they won't leave without Yang Fan, so they will die together, but Sinan screamed and shouted that he didn't want to die, so he pleaded God to help him. Yang Fan was taken aback when he saw that the level 3 zombie attacked Mr. Bao. Mr. Bao was surprised, and he cursed as he announced that he would kill the level 3 zombie. Yang Fan went back into the car and suggested that Duanmu should drive, to which she agreed. While Mr. Bao and the level 3 zombie fought, the car drove through the horde of low-level zombies in front of them. Duanmu queried Yang Fan why the zombie didn't attack them. Yang Fan noted that it also surprised him that level 3 zombies could pick their food and that a high-level superhuman could provide more energy for them to evolve, so they have to thank Mr. Bao at that time. Duanmu questioned if it meant that the higher level someone is at, the greater danger they will face, and Yang Fan clarified that it was not exactly the case because high-level superhumans need high-level crystal cores to enhance themselves, so those higher-level zombies could also be their prey, and it was about who was more competent. Lin Mayachan suddenly proposed that they should drop the topic for the meantime and wondered where they were going next. Yang Fan pronounced that they were going to Ocean City as there are military powers over there and the city is one of the relatively safer zones for humans at present. And Yang Kingsu added that they could finally visit their mom and dad and that she was wondering if they were safe at the moment. Yan Yu glanced over Yang Fan with a melancholic look on her face. Yang Fan inquired Yan Yu what was wrong, and Yan Yu responded nothing. Duanmu suddenly revealed that Yan Yu wanted to go to Earth City where her parents live, and Yan Yu countered that Duanmu shouldn't. Yang Fan suddenly remembered Earth City. He recalled that the city was one of the most chaotic cities when the apocalypse occurred in the previous life, and ordinary people could survive there, but meanwhile, it was where the superhumans appeared the most frequently. Yang Fan considered that what was more important is that the bastard Xiao Ao is a native of Earth City. He was pissed when he remembered Xiao Ao. Yang Fan proclaimed that they should go to Earth City because his dad and mom are safe in Ocean City, so they could go there later while he pondered that Xiao Ao should wait and see. Yan Yu thanked Yang Fan, and Yang Fan replied sure. Yang Fan explained that Yang Kingsu should not be angry because he called their mom and dad before, and they are safe, so they could meet them. And he reflected that in his previous life, he found his parents in Ocean City half a year after, and they were safe and sound. On the other hand, Yan Yu mused that Yang Fan changed his plan for her and gave her the level 2 weapon, so she wondered if he fell for her. He believed that Yang Fan told Lin Mayachan to be his woman while he never uttered anything like that to her, so she wondered if she was inferior to Lin Mayachan when she had big boobs and long legs as well. Suddenly, Yang Fan exclaimed that he almost forgot something. He disclosed that it was the profession card he got at the base, and it fits Lin Mayachan because they needed a medical superhuman at the moment, and Lin Mayachan demanded what the profession card was. Meanwhile, Yan Yu suspected that Yang Fan was even giving Lin Mayachan a profession card. Yang Fan predicted that Lin Mayachan will soon find out that the card will open a new world for her. A huge amount of data quickly transferred to Lin Mayachan. She opened her eyes, and they glowed. Lin Mayachan professed that she was a sage. Sinan inquired if Lin Mayachan was crazy. Yang Fan replied no and that the card has become a part of Lin Mayachan, so from that point onward, she is a sage superhuman. He used a sharp metal to cut his hand. Lin Mayachan immediately used her skill, Sage Healing. Everyone was amazed when they saw that Yang Fan's wound was completely gone. Young Fan commented that it was Lin Mayachan's power. Young Kingsu remarked that it was fantastic because they don't need to worry about injuries anymore. Lin Mayachan suddenly stated that she feels tired, and as she questioned Young Fan what was wrong with her, Young Fan responded that it was fine because the power takes her mental energy, and she was at a low level at the moment, which is why her body hasn't adapted to it yet. Young Fan advised that if Young Kingsu doesn't want Lin Mayachan to die from exhaustion, she better not get herself injured, and Young Kingsu acknowledged that she will be more careful and not add any burden to Lin Mayachan. Lin Mayachan observed that there were many limitations and wondered why they don't just use drugs. Young Fan pointed out that, of course, it was different because a high-level sage could even bring a corpse back to life, which can't be done with ordinary drugs, and he reflected that a sage at level 7 was a big shot in the previous life. Lin Mayachan expressed that it was good, and Yan Yu concluded that it was okay as long as she was not the burden, as she wanted to help Young Fan. Yan Yu considered that the card was necessary for the improvement of power, so she should save some crystal cores to buy one. Meanwhile, Young Fan surmised that Mr. Bao won't be able to return to the base so soon, and his men are no match for him. He announced that Duanmui should stop the car because he needed to go back, and as he declared that they should wait for him in Earth City, Duanmui queried him if he was crazy and if he wanted to return to the base. Young Kingsu vocalized no and that she didn't want to fart with Young Fan. But Young Fan affirmed that she shouldn't worry because he was going to take what he deserved. Yan Yu uttered that she was going with Young Fan, but Duanmui maintained that if they go, they will become Young Fan's burden, so they should check the situation in Earth City first and prepare to help Young Fan after his arrival. Yan Yu admitted that Duanmui was right and that she was too weak. A few moments later, Young Fan walked out of the car with his fiery sword in his hand. A zombie greeted him as soon as he got near the base. The zombie roared loudly as it charged towards Young Fan. Young Fan simply swung his sword to eliminate the zombie. He got a crystal core from it. Young Fan reckoned that by walking down the hole, he could get into Mr. Bao's warehouse without being noticed, so Mr. Bao had left him a good path before he left. The guards cursed when they saw Young Fan, and they questioned him for daring to return. They fired their bullets at Young Fan, and Young Fan maneuvered his body in the air to dodge those bullets. Young Fan murmured that it was bad luck for the guards. In an instant, the guards lay on the ground and bled out. Young Fan noted that the door can't resist his weapon. He swung his sword and destroyed the door. Young Fan entered the warehouse where all the materials were stored. He pronounced that he will generously accept all of Mr. Bao's treasures. Young Fan swung his sword to destroy the vaults in front of him. He pondered that Mr. Bao even got 2 tubes of level 1 healing potion. Young Fan believed that Mr. Bao hired mercenaries and stored so many materials and crystal cores soon after the breakout of the apocalypse. He assumed that it was perhaps because Mr. Bao accidentally activated the trader and got to know a lot. Young Fan suspected that he had to level up a SP because the ring was almost full, and he declared that it was time to prepare grand fireworks for Mr. Bao. He used his skill, Artisan Transformation. Young Fan stated that it was worthwhile to level up to a level 2 Artisan because the TNT bomb already even has the feature of penetrating and physical armor. Suddenly, Mr. Bao showed up, and he inquired if it was Young Fan. Mr. Bao questioned Young Fan for daring to return, and he queried him where he hid his treasures. Young Fan mentioned that Mr. Bao came back so quickly and that a level 2 beast superhuman was indeed impressive. Mr. Bao transformed, and he roared and voiced that Young Fan should give him his treasures back. Young Fan clicked his tongue, and as he uttered that it was impossible, he questioned Mr. Bao if he had heard of the saying "hit where it hurts," and he remarked that Mr. Bao would die that day. Mr. Bao observed that Young Fan was arrogant because although he was injured, it would still be easy for him to kill him. He noted that he will tear Young Fan into pieces and assault his women one by one, and Young Fan expressed that Mr. Bao should shut up, and he questioned him for daring to insult his companions. Young Fan used his sword to block Mr. Bao's claws. Mr. Bao was concerned. He concluded that his wounds deteriorated, and his claws couldn't win against Young Fan's blade, so he would have to run. He specified that it was never too late to take revenge, so he will kill Young Fan next time. Young Fan wondered if Mr. Bao wanted to run away, and as he affirmed that it was too late, Mr. Bao acknowledged that Young Fan shouldn't come over. Young Fan quickly slashed Mr. Bao from behind. He quickly pulled his sword and plunged it forward. Young Fan pierced through Mr. Bao's chest, and Mr. Bao screamed in pain. He commented that it was good that he didn't have to waste a bomb. Suddenly, a potion rolled out of Mr. Bao's pocket. Young Fan revealed that it was a level 2 evolutive potion and that Mr. Bao kept it with him at all times, so it was no wonder he didn't find it in the warehouse. He immediately drank the level 2 evolutive potion. Young Fan announced that the power is surging and that the physical strength of a level 2 superhuman could compete with that of those top-class martial art masters. He indicated that it was time to get back to his companions. As soon as Young Fan came out of the base, a zombie noticed him, and it roared. Young Fan quickly swung his sword and cut the zombie in half. Suddenly, he noticed a motorcycle. Young Fan disclosed that it was exactly what he needed. He started the motorcycle and revved it up. Young Fan rode the motorcycle and eliminated the zombies he encountered along the way with his sword. Young Fan continued to travel using the motorcycle. He considered that the trip wouldn't be smooth as there are no rules during the period of the apocalypse and everyone could be a victim and also be an abuser. Suddenly, Young Fan reckoned that the ring sensed a traitor nearby when it flashed. He noticed tire marks, and he wondered if someone went to the traitor ahead of him. Young Fan concluded that he should never mind because the traitor can't be missed, and if he could get some good stuff, he would have another card to kill Xiao. But to Young Fan's surprise, he recognized the car that his companions used at the side of the road. Young Fan inquired why they were there and if something happened to them. He figured that he better walk in because the motorcycle may cause too much noise. A few moments later, Young Fan arrived in a village where the people had gathered in the center. The people gathered around Sinan, and Young Fan saw it. Young Fan wondered why Sinan was tied up and where his sister and the others were, and as he assumed that those people were not mutated but ordinary people, he wondered if they were going to eat human flesh as people in the previous life did. He opined that since that was the case, he would have no mercy in killing them. Sinan was surprised when he saw Young Fan charging at them with his flaming sword. He immediately declared that Young Fan should stop and not kill the guys because they are good guys. Lai Danny requested for Young Fan to calm down. He introduced himself, and as he mentioned that they didn't mean to tie Sinan up and that they had no choice, another guy explained that if they hadn't tied Sinan up, the village head would have controlled the divine tree to turn them into zombies. Young Fan queried what the divine tree was and where his sister and the others were. The rope that was restraining Sinan started to come undone. Sinan asserted that Young Fan should forget about the tree and save Young Kingsu and the others because they have been taken into the new village head's house, and those guys wanted to rape them, so Young Fan should follow him. Young Fan pressed what happened to him. Sinan started to recall the events that happened. He recalled that they drove through the city when a shadowy figure suddenly jumped in front of the car. It was a little girl, and everyone in the car was alarmed when they saw her. Sinan cursed and exclaimed that they bumped into someone while Duanmui probed why the little girl suddenly rushed out. Sinan interrogated if she was okay and if she got hurt. She stated that she is fine, but her dad is dying, so she requested them to save him. Yanyu remarked that they can't waste their time, so she should leave. But she added that she won't and pleaded for them to save her dad. Yang Kingsu noted that she was so pitiful, and as she inquired if they should help her, Lin Mayachan observed that maybe she could cure the little girl's dad easily with her power. Duanmui expressed that besides, it was she who bumped into the little girl, and they are to blame, to which Yanyu answered all right. But they could only stay there for a while. Unbeknownst to them, she supposed that another bunch of idiots took the bait. A few moments later, Sinan and the others walked back to the village with the little girl. She conveyed that they live on that mountain and thanked them, as they are so nice, even though she wanted to say that they were naive. Meanwhile, a man spotted them and deemed that Lai Danyu's daughter grew more and more capable as she even brought several women in the village at that time. So he had to report it to the new head immediately because maybe he could have his share of those women. She stated that it was her home and her dad was in the house. Looking around, Yanyu noted that there are no zombies in that village. But there is an uncomfortable aura. Heading inside, she called his dad and mentioned that she was back while the dad, Lai Danyu, coughed and apologized that he was so ill. Lin Mayachan asserted that Lai Danyu shouldn't be nervous because she will cure his illness soon. When Lai Danyu saw the light, he realized that Lin Mayachan and the others were not ordinary people. He observed that he doesn't cough anymore and his illness was really cured, so Lin Mayachan is a real doctor. She thanked them and declared that they were good people, but before she could admit that she tricked them, Yang Kingsu maintained that it was so good that her dad regained his health because he could take her out to play later. On the other hand, Lin Mayachan believed that it was still a bit hard for her to use her power, and she wished that she had a body as strong as Yan Yu's. Lin Mayachan commented that she was tired, so they should go, and as Lai Danyu requested them to wait, Yang Kingsu indicated that he was well, so they would leave. But as they were about to walk out the door, a group of men kicked it open and barged inside the house. The village head was leading the men, and he conveyed that they heard that there were newcomers in the village. Lai Danyu requested that the village head let Sinan and the others go, and as he expressed that they are good people so they will trick others into the village. Sinan cursed as he deemed that they were tricked, and it was no wonder that Lai Danyu seemed to be wanting to say something but hesitated earlier. The village head proclaimed that they should cut the crap and the men should go get those girls, as he is going to sleep with them that night. To which the men agreed. Lai Danyu tried to stop the village head and ran towards him. But one of the men punched Lai Danyu and inquired what he was going to do. Suddenly, Yanyu claimed that the others shouldn't move or she would shoot one of the men in the head. The man avowed that everyone should stay put and not move and queried if they wished him dead. Everyone was at a standstill, but they were unaware that another man was sneaking up to Yang Kingsu from behind. The man affirmed that everyone shouldn't move or he will slit Yang Kingsu's throat. He stated that Yanyu should put down the gun if she doesn't want to see Yang Kingsu die in front of her, and Sinan, the fat man, should put down his shield. One of the men cursed at Yanyu and interrogated where her arrogance was, while the other man cursed at Sinan and opined that it didn't matter if he got a special weapon. The village head insisted that Liu Jing did well, so he will have a share. He remarked that they should tie those women up and take them to his house while the others take Sinan away and roast him at the entrance of the village. Lai Danyu pleaded for the village head not to do such a thing, and he noted that they were his saviors and one of them is a doctor, so she could save those sick villagers. But the village head cursed at Lai Danyu as he probed who he considered he was to order him and stated that he should scram. The village head declared that Liu Jing should tie up Lai Danyu's daughter and take her to the divine tree. He stated that if he didn't see Lai Danyu roast Sinan to death after he was done, his daughter would be torn apart by the tree. Back in the present, Sinan suddenly cursed, and Yang Fan wondered what was wrong. Sinan stated that he doesn't know where the new village head lives. Lai Danyu came running and declared that he knows, so he will lead the way. Yang Fan interrogated why he should trust him when his companions are in danger because of him, to which Lai Danyu apologized. He noted that he really regretted it because Lin Maiachin cured his illness and he won't bite the hand that feeds him. And besides, Yang Fan is so powerful and he has to beg for his help to save his daughter. Lai Danyu stated that they should go because the new village head could control the divine tree, so they shouldn't waste time, or it will be too late. He averred that the divine tree is an ancient tree that has been guarded by the villagers for generations, and it could heal their minor illnesses when they pray under it. Lai Danyu stated that not long ago, the divine tree suddenly went crazy and attacked villagers and tore them into pieces. The new village head was one of the people present when the divine tree started attacking people. However, the divine tree stopped when it tried to kill the new village head. Lai Danyu remarked that the villagers made the man the village head from that point onward, as they believed that he could control the divine tree and protect them. Yang Fan reflected that as far as he could see, the divine tree is a mutant plant stimulated by a seed of darkness, but ordinary people can't manipulate the mutant plants unless the new village head is an elf superhuman. Suddenly, Lai Danyu declared that it was the house of the new village head. Sinan asserted that Yang Fan should wait for him while Lai Danyu indicated that Yang Fan shouldn't just rush in as the village head has many bodyguards. A few minutes passed, and the stars started to show up in the sky. Meanwhile, Duanmui, Lin Maiachin, and Yang Kingsu were all tied up with only their underwear on. The village head noted that the four of them are all raving beauties, and looking at their sexy figures and pretty faces, he could play with them for the whole year. He conveyed that he remembered that Yan Yu was the worst-tempered little beauty, so he would let her feel his gentleness first. But Yan Yu contended that she would cut him up into pieces. Suddenly, Yang Fan kicked the door open and barged into the room. Yang Kingsu and Lin Maiachin observed that Yang Fan finally came. The village head inquired who he was and where his bodyguards were. Yang Fan averred that the village head should stop shouting as he had killed all the bodyguards. He quickly jumped and charged towards the village head. Yang Fan maintained that the village head shouldn't touch his woman. He expressed that other men are about to come in, so Yan Yu and the others should put on their clothes if they don't want them to take advantage of them. On the other hand, Yan Yu looked so happy, and she kept pondering that Yang Fan implied that she is his woman. The village head was terrified when Yang Fan pointed a sword at his throat. He pleaded for Yang Fan not to kill him and insisted that there must be a misunderstanding. Yang Fan opined that the village head was a coward, so there was no way he could be an elf superhuman, and he queried if he cheated the villagers. The village interrogated why it mattered and commented that Yang Fan should go to hell. But Yang Fan didn't hesitate and slashed off the village head's arm that was holding the gun. Lai Danyu suddenly avowed that Yang Fan should calm down and pleaded for him to stop. But Yang Fan proclaimed that the village head can't manipulate the divine tree, so they don't need to be afraid of him. But Yang Fan quickly realized that Lai Danyu doesn't fear the divine tree, and what he was afraid of is losing his daughter. Lai Danyu's daughter mentioned that she is frightened, while Liu Jing notified that they should let the village head go or he will kill Lai Danyu's daughter. The village head affirmed that Liu Jing did a good job, and he deserves to be his buddy. Lai Danyu continued to plead for Yang Fan not to kill the village head. But Yang Fan professed that the village head was courting death. Liu Jing cursed and voiced that Yang Fan should stop moving or Lai Danyu's daughter will die. But Yang Fan didn't hesitate, and blood was spilled. He uttered that the village head should go to hell. When Liu Jing saw what happened, he immediately stabbed Lai Danyu's daughter. Lai Danyu screamed for his dear daughter as he ran towards her. Lai Danyu pleaded for Lin Maiachin to save his daughter, and Lin Maiachin affirmed that she would, so Lai Danyu shouldn't worry, as she won't stand by. Yang Fan remarked that Lai Danyu should leave his daughter to Lin Maiachin and ask all the villagers to gather in front of the tree. Lai Danyu agreed, and as he thanked Yang Fan, he declared that he is on it. Yang Fan called the village head and noted that he shouldn't play dead because he didn't hurt his vital parts. He added that the village head should show them the way, and he will give him the chance to manipulate the divine tree. Sinan commented that the village head should cut the crap and do as Yang Fan advised. A few moments later, the sun had completely set, and the sky got darker. The village head brought Yang Fan and the others to where the divine tree is. A dealer stood below the tree. Yang Fan reflected that it must be the dealer he had perceived before, and he didn't expect it to be a level 2 dealer. Du and Mui stated that the divine tree was the original species of the pagoda tree, and it belongs to the family of mutant arbors, so she guesses it is almost 3,000 years old, and according to the legend, a pagoda tree over 1,000 years old will give birth to a wood spirit of the divine pagoda tree, and although science still can't explain the phenomenon, some strange accounts could be seen in previous studies. Suddenly, young Kingsu mentioned that they should look because a man stood under the tree, and she inquired why the tree didn't attack the man. The village head quickly expressed that it was the dealer who ordered him to do those bad things and forced him, while thinking that it seems Yang Fan and the others don't know the man, so he will just pass the buck to him. But Yan Yu answered Yang Kingsu and replied that it was not a person, it was a dealer. She observed that if someone gets close to the dealer with crystal cores, a transaction will be activated, and to some extent, they met Yang Fan because of the dealer. Besides, the dealer can't think, let alone order people to do bad things. Suddenly, Sinin called Yang Fan and informed that the villagers had arrived. To which Yang Fan responded fine. The villagers maintained that the divine tree got angry again, so they should run. They asserted that the new village head is manipulating it, so they should run because it was going to kill them. The village head believed that since he couldn't pass the buck, he could make use of the power of the divine tree, and he conveyed that Yang Fan should see that if he didn't let him off, he would make the divine tree kill him. But Yang Fan queried if it was real and opined that he should get in and show him how he manipulates the tree. The villagers asserted that Yang Fan is crazy because he pushed the new village head in, and he laid up trouble. The divine tree released its aura, and it was so fast that it whistled in the air. The village head screamed in pain as his chest got pierced by the divine tree's aura. The villagers probed if the divine tree killed their new village head and avowed that the village head told them that he could manipulate it. Yang Fan wondered if they saw it and insinuated that the jerk cheated them, as the village head couldn't control the divine tree and only he could stop the tree from going crazy. One of the villagers interrogated if he was sure that he could do that. Lai Dan, who acknowledged that the divine tree will kill Yang Fan, but Yang Fan just observed that he will see. Yang Fan started secretly pouring the purifying water from his ring into a water bottle. He considered that he hoped that the seed of darkness hadn't invaded the root of the tree or he couldn't thoroughly purify it. Yan Yu called Yang Fan and notified that he should let her help him. But Du and Mui counseled that she shouldn't act rashly because even if Yang Fan gets in trouble, it would make no sense to rush in hastily. Du and Mui contended that what Yan Yu could do at the moment is give Yang Fan remote assistance from outside, and Yan Yu confirmed that Du and Mui was right. The divine tree started attacking Yang Fan as soon as he approached it. Yang Fan summoned his sword to protect himself. He managed to cleave the divine tree's attack that came right at him. But Yang Fan was taken aback when he noticed another attack that came from behind. Yang Fan got hit by the attack, and he coughed up blood. Yang Fan cursed as he reflected that he couldn't tell which level of mutation the divine tree was at, and even a mutant weapon couldn't cut the branch off. He raised his sword and prepared to block another attack. But Yang Fan cursed when he saw that another attack was coming at him from behind. Yan Yu shot the divine tree's attack and managed to change its direction. She remarked that bullets could only drive the branch back, and she inquired which level the monster was at. Yan Yu's eyes suddenly widened when she saw the divine tree's next attack. She screamed and exclaimed that Yang Fan should run. Yang Fan quickly jumped in the air to avoid the divine tree's branches. He declared that it was bad because he could neither defeat it nor run away, so the divine tree should take the purifying water. The purifying water was splashed onto the trunk of the divine tree. The trunk of the divine tree started smoking and cracking. The entire divine tree started to fizzle. Yang Fan quickly took the opportunity and began the translation with the dealer. He considered that he was not sure whether the purifying water would work, so it would be better to hide for a moment when the divine tree is in disorder. The entire area rumbled as the divine tree sank into the ground. Yan Yu stated that it was so quiet, and as he wondered if Yang Fan had defeated the divine tree, Yang Kingsu commented that Yang Fan is so awesome, and that she knew he could do it. Meanwhile, Du and Mui believed that the poor divine tree finally got rid of the pain. One of the villagers asserted that the divine tree stopped, so Yang Fan did stop it, while Lai Danyu observed that it was not a dream and it was real, but he queried where Yang Fan was. On the other hand, Yang Fan contemplated that there are so many good things, even including 2 profession cards, so it seems that the dealer was protected well by the crazy divine tree, but they are so expensive as the prices of evolutive portions at different levels vary greatly. Fortunately, he got more than 40,000 gray crystals and 4 white crystals from Mr. Bao. He reckoned that the space manipulating card enabled the user to control air and space, while the level 1 space manipulating allowed the user to teleport in the space so Yang Kingsu could use it to protect herself. And as to the elf, it is accorded with Duan Mui's profession in the previous life. As the system notified that he still had 30 gray crystals and 4 white crystals, Yang Fan mentioned that only a few crystals were left, and if everyone wanted to achieve advancement, they still needed many crystals, so he should teach his companions how to collect crystal cores when they reach Earth City. Yang Fan deemed that he should go out to deal with the weird divine tree next. He asserted that they should continue, but Yang Fan was surprised when the divine tree no longer attacked him. The villagers quickly noted that the god came out so they should give him a kowtow because it was he who saved their village. Du and Mui observed that Yang Fan made the divine tree calm, and they know that the villagers are a little superstitious, but they worship him with all their heart. Meanwhile, young Kingsu pressed where he had been and if he had traded with the strange guy, to which Yang Fan replied yes. Yang Fan conveyed that he got evolutive potions in Sinan, Lin Maya-chen, and young Kingsu could have one each. He turned to Yan Yu and opined that the level 2 evolutive potion is for her because it is easier for her to fight with a body at a higher level. Lin Maya-chen thanked Yang Fan, and Sinan expressed that it was very kind of Yang Fan and thanked him so much, while Yan Yu mused that she couldn't believe that Yang Fan gave such a precious level 2 evolutive potion to her, so he must have a crush on her. Yan Yu avowed that she felt power pouring out of her body. Lin Maya-chen averred that the sense of weakness has gone, so the evolutive potion is so magical, and while Sinan affirmed that he also feels that his fat body is full of power, Yang Kingsu interrogated why she couldn't feel anything. Yang Fan stated that Yang Kingsu should take it easy, and he also bought her a space manipulating card. He remarked that she could teleport and even fly with it so no one would catch her, to which Yang Kingsu observed that it was great, and as she thanked Yang Fan, she mentioned that she knew Yang Fan cared for her the most. Yang Fan declared that he got Duanmui an elf card because it suits her well, for it could enable her to communicate with animals and plants even if they are mutant, so he believed she would like it, to which Duanmui thanked Yang Fan and noted that she could also contribute to fights in the future. Yang Kingsu and Duanmui quickly activated their new professions. In an instant, Duanmui could understand the divine tree, and it conveyed that it couldn't help attacking and absorbing all the mutant things because of the confusion of its mind. However, it sobered up after some time, only to find the new village head herding villagers under its name, and Yang Fan also tried to control it earlier like the village head once did, but it was so sorry that it was too angry, and it didn't mean to do it. The divine tree commented that luckily, Yang Fan didn't get hurt, and it appreciated that Yang Fan helped strip the mutant part from it and make it a new life so Duanmui can take the new life with her because maybe it will help her someday. The new life was enclosed in a bright green orb, and it floated towards Duanmui. It broke free from the orb and became a level 3 mutant pagoda tree sapling. The divine tree asserted that the mutant branches on the ground that just fell off are solid so they could make weapons with them, to which Duanmui replied okay and thanked the divine tree. Yang Kingsu expressed that it was amazing that Duanmui was talking with the divine tree, to which Duanmui agreed and indicated that it was all Yang Fan's credit. Duanmui called Yang Fan and informed that the divine tree gave them a tree baby and queried to take its branches back to make weapons. Yang Fan opined that it was a level 3 sapling, so the power of the divine tree is at least beyond the 3rd level, so it was no wonder he couldn't defeat it. He advised that Duanmui should train the sapling as it has great potential, and as long as it is properly trained, it will help her a lot in the future. Yang Fan indicated that everyone should pack up and they should leave. Suddenly, Lai Danyu rushed in, and as he pleaded for Yang Fan not to rush off, he stated that they are their saviors, so he would request them to stay for dinner before they go. Lai Danyu's daughter agreed and noted that the aunties cook well. Sinan immediately called Yang Fan and expressed that they should stay for dinner, while Yang Kingsu replied that she also wanted to eat. A few moments later, the flames of the bonfire covered the darkness of the night sky. Sinan, Yang Kingsu, and the villagers were all celebrating and dancing around the bonfire. Lin Maya-chen remarked that she wished there were no apocalypse and they would always be happy like that. Yang Fan considered that Lin Maya-chen should cherish the happiness of the moment because she will go through real hardships when she enters Earth City. Half a month later, the group arrived at Earth City, and as Sinan inquired if they were already in Earth City, he commented that they had finally arrived and that the past half-month was like a nightmare. Sinan declared that their car seemed to have run out of petrol, so they better get off, but he was tired, and all of that driving makes him thinner. Duanmui asserted that they overcame many dangers together along the way, but without their proficiency in the power and Yang Fan's guidance, they would have already died. Yan Yu pondered about her dad and mom. She considered that she was coming and that she had experienced a lot in the past half-month, so she was much stronger at that time. Meanwhile, young Kingsu noticed a zombie in the corner of her eye. It roared as it ran towards her. While using her space-manipulating teleportation, young Kingsu affirmed that she could fly, and she laughed and added that the little zombie couldn't catch her. On the other hand, Yan Yu declared that it was a bunch of level 1 trash. Meanwhile, Duanmui called Lin Maya-chen and proclaimed that she should come closer to her. She called the sapling Huai and affirmed that it should attack the zombie. On the other hand, another zombie roared ferociously and lunged towards Sinan. Duanmui warned that Sinan should watch out because it was a level 2 zombie. She didn't expect there would be level 2 zombies at the edge of Earth City. Sinan confirmed that the frontal defense was ready and the zombie had no chance to break through the level 2 shield advanced by Yang Fan. Yan Yu noted that the remote attack was ready and she had shot 5 level 2 zombies in the head during their trip. Lin Maya-chen mentioned that the logistic treatment was ready, while young Kingsu added that she was ready to retreat and no one could catch her except her brother. Duanmui instructed that Yan Yu should shoot at the zombie while Huai should cover her from the side, and she acknowledged that she got it. She shot the zombie 3 times at different points. Young Fan praised that they did a good job and they cooperate much better with each other than before, and he remarked that it only took them half a month to achieve tacit understanding, which is amazing. Young Kingsu used her skill, space manipulating, teleportation, to grab the crystal core. She declared that she got the white crystal and Yang Fan should take it, and he complimented that she was great. Suddenly, someone fired at Yang Fan. He speculated whether it was an ambush. Young Kingsu used her skill, space manipulating, teleportation, and challenged them for daring to try to kill their leader first. Dunmui identified that it was from the 11 o'clock position and told Yan Yu to fire, and she confirmed she got it. She fired her gun at the target. Chu Xiaoan screamed in pain when she got hit by the bullet. Yan Yu inquired who she was and why she attacked them. She scoffed and urged that she should cut the nonsense and just kill her as she wished because they were just a gang of bandits who robbed others. Young Kingsu demanded what they snatched from her and insisted that she shouldn't slander them. Chu Xiaoan revealed that it was Yang Fan because he took the crystal core, which should have been hers. She had kept an eye on the level 2 zombie for 5 days, and she planned to kill it that day, but he beat her to it. She was going to exchange it for medicine for her sister, but he took it from her, and her sister would die, so she would rather die with her since she couldn't save her and she was to blame for being too useless. Yan Yu concluded that she didn't lie and believed she was a native there, so they should keep her alive and give her some gray crystals as the guide fee because if she could help them, it would be more efficient than blindly looking for people themselves. Young Fan realized that Chu Xiaoan mentioned she had a sister, and he recalled that there were 2 powerful sisters from Earth City in the previous life. Both of them were strong element superhumans, so he considered whether she was one of them. He requested what her name was. She replied that her name was Chu Xiaoan, and he could kill her if he liked, and she vowed she wouldn't beg for mercy. He determined that he guessed right, and it was good luck, which was so incredible. He asked if her sister was called Chu Xiaoyan, and she demanded why he knew her. On the other hand, Yan Yu was curious why he knew her sister's name. The city they lived in was nearly 1,000 kilometers away from Earth City, and it seemed that Chu Xiaoan didn't know him. He pondered how many things he had hidden from them. The sisters were of high battle effectiveness in the previous life, and though each of them was just at the 8th level, they could defeat a level 9 ultra superhuman if they fought together. It would be a pity if they didn't join his team. He proposed that Chu Xiaoan should take them to her sister because they had a sage, and maybe she could cure her. Chu Xiaoan refused to take a bandit to meet her sister, and she didn't care whether Yang Fan had a sage or not because she believed he merely aimed to capture her and make her his woman. Yang Fan explained that they intended to find some people in the city, so they hoped to cooperate with her sister, and she should accept the white crystal as the deposit. Chu Xiaoan confirmed that it was a white crystal and inquired whether he was sure she could have it. She reminded that in Earth City, a white crystal could hire 5 level 1 evolvers as bodyguards. Yang Fan brushed it off as not a big deal, and Yan Yu insisted that helping them meant helping herself because if her friend cured her sister, she could save many crystal cores, and besides, she believed no one else could guide them except her. Chu Xiaoan agreed that it was true and they were both locals, so they could assist them. She warned them to come with her and not attempt any tricks because there were many master hands in their base. She glared ahead. She realized that without crystal cores, she couldn't afford a detoxifying potion for her sister, and anyway, even if they turned out to be bad people, she considered them easy to deal with once her sister recovered. She assured them that their base was right ahead and no zombies could enter, so it was very safe. It was her, and she ordered them to open the door. Suddenly, the ring brightened, which meant a dealer must be in there. Chu Xiaoyan demanded where she had been and mentioned that she had been searching for her for 5 days. She admitted she had been very worried about her. She questioned who the others were and whether they were friends or enemies. Sinan questioned what they intended to do. Chu Xiaoyan suspected they had kidnapped her, and she clarified that it wasn't like that. They were good people, and they had helped her kill a zombie and given her crystal cores. She confirmed it was true. She looked stunned. She accepted it, and since they were friends, she said they should open the door and let them in. She doubted Chu Xiaoan could return safely if they were bad guys, unless what they did had been part of a deliberate plan, so she decided to play it by ear. Chu Xiaoan believed that her wounds would be cured. They were seeking some people in the city, so they wanted them to be their guides, and they had a sage superhuman who could cure her. Chu Xiaoan called her a silly girl because a level 1 sage couldn't do that. Chu Xiaoan advised her not to worry because even if the sage couldn't do it, they had already gathered some white crystals, and the crystal cores they held were enough to exchange for a detoxifying potion from the dealer so she could use it to cure her wounds then. Chu Xiaoyan insisted that she was fine, so she better put the white crystal away. But Chu Xiaoyan disagreed, claiming she was not, as she had been mauled by a level 2 zombie, and though she was a superhuman, she couldn't endure much longer. One of the guys stepped in and urged Chu Xiaoyan not to say any more about it because he admitted it had been all his fault. He had also been mauled by a level 2 zombie when he went out hunting them, and he apologized for his uselessness. Chu Xiaoyan had already exchanged the white crystals they collected and the white crystal he obtained from the level 2 zombie for a level 2 detoxifying potion to save his life. Chu Xiaoan demanded how she could do that and whether she had lost her mind. Meanwhile, Young Fan questioned whether people could buy purifying potions from dealers in that life, but something about it felt strange to him. He verified how many crystal cores they needed and offered to give them. But he had a condition: they must let him trade with the dealer. Chu Xiaoan stated that they still needed 4 white crystals or 4,000 gray crystals and wondered whether he had that many. He handed her 4 white crystals and instructed her to take him to the dealer immediately. Chu Xiaoan considered white crystals rare and precious, yet he had given them to her without hesitation, and she couldn't understand why he treated her so well, and he had even taken the trouble to send her sister back. She pointed out that they didn't know each other and requested why he helped them and what exactly he wanted. He revealed that he wanted her and her sister. Lin Maiachin cursed and recalled that he had once used the same words to her and questioned whether that was all he ever knew. Sinan expressed confusion over what the hell he was trying to do and wondered if he didn't realize that they already had too many girls, while Yan Yu cursed and assumed that he must have taken a fancy to them. Yang Fan mentioned that he heard Chu Xiaoan is an element superhuman, and their team is in need of such. Besides, he also needs a local guide. Yan Yu inquired who told him about that and why she didn't even know, and Sinan declared that he knows everything and is awesome. Chu Xiaoan responded that they could be their guides for the sake of the crystal cores, but they don't want to join him. There are more than 20 organizations in Earth City, large or small, so master hands are as many as stars, and some of the organizations invited them to join them. But they refused them all because they prefer to rely on themselves rather than be manipulated by others. The dealer was over there, so they should follow her. He urged Yang Fan to keep it a secret because the dealer is a defender for them for the time being, but it could also get them killed if others know it exists in their base, and he agreed. She informed that the dealer was over there. Recognizing the level 2 dealer, he wondered if they could have detoxifying potions at that time. He instructed that they should wait there, and Yan Yu agreed. He began the translation. He was transferred into the dealer's space. He was amazed that there was a profession card and an evolutive potion, so it seems that the people of the base are really poor. Fortunately, he has collected many crystal cores in the past half-month, but he speculated if the detoxifying potion could really purify people, and he didn't care, as he should buy one first and ask Duan Muyi to scan it. With the profession card, the fates of the 2 sisters are in his hands, but if they still refuse to join them, he would rather give the profession card to Zishi. And they shouldn't blame him for being cruel because everyone should think for himself in the apocalypse. The crystal cores were running out again, but he is sure he could get many soon, so Xiaoao should get ready for his death as he has arrived. The transaction was completed. Suddenly, Chu Xiaoan urged that Chu Xiaoan should kill her as she is going to become a zombie and she should be quick. Chu Xiaoan replied that Qin Jun was also going to become a zombie, but he had taken a detoxifying potion, so she demanded what the hell was going on there. She doesn't think he will become an ordinary one, and it seems he will be a level 1 or even level 2 zombie. Yan Yu warned that he was coming, so they should stay behind her. He searched for a bullet, but it was unaffected and it roared fiercely. Yan Yu pointed out that it changed its target and it was going to attack the 2 sisters. Yang Kingsu declared that she would go save them, and she used her skill, space manipulating, teleportation. Chu Xiaoan questioned what on earth happened and how Qin Jun could become a zombie after taking a detoxifying potion, and Chu Xiaoan concluded that the detoxifying potion seemed to be useless, so anyone injured by zombies will become a zombie. Yang Kingsu encouraged that they should chin up because she will save them, but she realized that it was too late. Yang Fan quickly waved his sword and stopped the zombie. He cut off its head. Yang Kingsu expressed that she knew he would show up. He reminded that she should remember to never put herself in danger and to never expect that she is unrivaled with the superpower, and if she does that again, he will break her legs. Yang Fan admitted that he doesn't want to lose Yang Kingsu again. Yang Kingsu wondered if he meant the time she was kidnapped back then. He contacted Duan Muyi and urged that she should scan the potion to find out its ingredients, as he still doesn't know what function it has, and she agreed. He inquired if she was okay, and she replied that Chu Xiaoan doesn't feel well and she will become a zombie as Qin Jun did because the detoxifying potion is useless. Chu Xiaoan insisted that she should kill her and be quick because she was going to lose control, but Chu Xiaoan refused and urged that she should trust her that she could find a way to save her. She recalled that Lin Maiachin was a sage and pleaded that she save her sister. Suddenly, Duan Muyi phoned Yang Fan and explained that the potion could only detoxify heavy metal poison, metalloid poison, nitrite poison, and other ordinary poisons, so it is just an ordinary clinical detoxifying potion. It may only delay mutation, but it can't eliminate it. He concluded that it was why Qin Jun mutated after quite a long time, so dealers in that life still have no purifying water. Chu Xiaoan turned into a zombie and roared. Chu Xiaoan screamed as she lunged at her. Chu Xiaoan warned that she can't control her body, so she should run. Chu Xiaoan declared that it doesn't matter because she would like to die with her. Young Fan insisted that he doesn't mean to bother Chu Xiaoan, but Chu Xiaoan will complete the mutation if they go on chatting. He urged that Chu Xiaoan should drink the potion as it will save her life. But she roared at him. Chu Xiaoan wondered if it would work and cautioned that he had better leave just in case. He scolded that she is too indecisive, and if she was the one who mutated, her sister would have already fed it to her. Chu Xiaoan should drink it up. She whimpered that it hurts. Her eyes turned back to normal. Chu Xiaoan checked if she was okay. Yang Fan confirmed that she is fine and Sinan can put the shield away. Chu Xiaoan asked how she felt at the moment, if her wounds still hurt, and admitted that she scared her because she thought she would be gone. And Chu Xiaoan inquired if she became a zombie earlier because she felt so dizzy, and if she gave her the detoxifying potion. Chu Xiaoan denied and informed that Yang Fan was the one who saved her. More precisely, he saved them, and Chu Xiaoan puzzled how that could be possible. Yang Fan explained that what he got from their dealer was just an ordinary detoxifying potion, and it could only delay mutation, but what he gave her was a purifying potion he got before. Chu Xiaoan realized that even an ordinary detoxifying potion was expensive, so the purifying potion that could eliminate mutation must be invaluable, and she didn't expect that he would save her with it, so she pondered how she could repay him for his kindness. Suddenly, a man called Chu Xiaoan for help. He warned that it was their worst enemy, Zhang Zhong, and his men had broken in. The stalemate is still continuing in the hall, and they have killed and injured many of their people. Chu Xiaoan figured that Zhang Zhong must have heard that she is injured, or he wouldn't dare challenge her, so they should go because since he is digging his own grave, she doesn't mind helping him. Chu Xiaoan reminded that she just recovered, so she shouldn't act rashly. Yan Yu inquired if they should help them, and he advised that they should follow them because, after all, they are useful to them. Zhang Zhong declared that they should kill them because Chu Xiaoan would become a zombie soon and her people were all dispirited with no combat effectiveness, so everyone should fire on them. They could also get enhanced as long as they got the dealer, and as one of his men cursed and shouted that he also wanted to be a superhuman, so they should kill them all, the other acknowledged him. Suddenly, Chu Xiaoan insulted him and demanded how he dared to run riot in her territory. Her flames burned fiercely. Zhang Zhong instructed that they should lower their heads because that was the superpower of the witch, and he inquired what was wrong with the intelligence. Qin Jun claimed Chu Xiaoan was going to die, and she wondered why she could still use the superpower. Chu Xiaoan affirmed that she was still alive and challenged Zhang Zhong for daring. One of her men rejoiced that she was fine, while the other accused Zhang Zhong of bullying them. Suddenly, she groaned in pain. Chu Xiaoan queried what was wrong. One of the men pointed out that Zhang Zhong should look, and he confirmed that sure enough, she was just bluffing, so it was their big chance. Everybody should go and not be afraid, as she couldn't use the superpower because of her wounds. They should capture her, and the dealer of the base would be theirs. One of her men urged that everybody should fire and stop them because they were going to capture her. Zhang Zhong commanded that they shouldn't move. He would shoot her in the head if they moved. Chu Xiaoan threatened that she would shoot him in the head if he dared to hurt her. She instructed that Chu Xiaoan should come over to her as he wouldn't dare to perish with her. Zhang Zhong agreed and stated he would let Chu Xiaoan off, but he ordered his man to shoot off Chu Xiaoan's gun. The man fired his gun. Chu Xiaoan screamed in pain. One of Chu Xiaoan's men pleaded that they not kill them. Chu Xiaoan refused and insisted they should stop. She called Yang Fan and implored him to save them. A bullet suddenly hit the man in the head. Everyone was surprised. Zhang Zhong questioned who it was. He should show himself, or he would kill them, to which his man concurred and challenged that he should show up if he thought he was tough enough because only a coward would shoot in the dark. Yang Fan stepped out. He stated that he was there and challenged what was next. Chu Xiaoan believed that Yang Fan was there and he was coming to save them, and Chu Xiaoan remarked that he should save them because they were all bad people. Zhang Zhong noted that he didn't look like a henchman of the two sisters, so if he was just passing by, he shouldn't poke his nose into others' business, and he inquired if he was okay with that. He speculated how he dared to show up alone and suspected that maybe it was a trap. Yang Fan inquired if she had finished scanning, and she confirmed. There were still 6 of them, and the most powerful of them was a level 1 evolver. Zhang Zhong pressed for who else was out there, and his man urged that they shouldn't let them go and they must silence them in case they heard them talking about the dealer earlier. He affirmed that he was right, so they should kill them. Yan Yu suddenly fired her guns at them. Her bullets came flying past Yang Fan, who remained unfazed. Zhang Zhong and his men returned fire. Yang Qingsu instantly teleported with Sinan in front of Yang Fan. Sinan used his shield to block the bullets. Yang Qingsu assured Yang Fan that he shouldn't be afraid because they will protect him, but he merely questioned why she thinks he is afraid. Zhang Zhong's men were hit by the bullets while he barely managed to dodge his. He groaned that some of them were superhumans and it hurt so much. Yan Yu boasted that even if she closed her eyes, she could hit her target as long as she knew its location. And Lin Miachen remarked that it was because she was uniquely gifted, but ordinary people couldn't do that, and to be honest, honest, she couldn't if she kept her eyes closed. She declared that she was going to cure the injured. Chu Xiaoan observed that they were already safe, and Chu Xiaoyan concurred. Zhang Zhang wondered why the bunch of powerful people helped them. Chu Xiaoyan responded that it was because they were lucky. She asked who told him about the dealer and her wounds and promised that she would give him a quick death if he told her. He revealed that it was Qin Jun who informed him that she bought him a level 2 detoxifying potion with white crystals, which was so funny. She snapped that it was enough and he should die already. She expressed her thanks to Yang Fan. He not only rescued her but also rescued her people at that time, and she couldn't figure out how to repay him. She found it hard to believe that he could easily stop a disaster and considered him a man who deserved to be trusted. Chu Xiaoan apologized to him for crying out his name in the emergency earlier, and conveyed deep thanks for saving them. He replied that it was not a big deal, as he just aimed to save some local people who knew the city well to help him look for people. Chu Xiaoyan acknowledged that she understood and said it was their duty to do that for him, but she requested a favor. She mentioned that there were only 10 men left in the base at that time and asked if he could let them join him. She speculated whether he would agree and recalled that he once invited her to join them, but she wasn't sure whether he would want those ordinary people to be members of their team. He consented, but they must follow his instructions once they joined them. Chu Xiaoyan confirmed that she got it, and Chu Xiaoyan exclaimed that it was great. Yang Fan assumed that the two sisters would be the element superhumans of their team, and they could also be their guides in Earth City, so the results were well worth the effort. Chu Xiaoyan declared that from that point onward, Yang Fan was the chief commander of the base and all of them should follow his orders, and they could leave if they refused to do that. Everyone thanked Yang Fan for saving them and addressed him as chief. Yang Qingsu remarked that they were comrades from that point onward, so they should work as a team and have each other's backs. Meanwhile, Yang Fan explained that since they were on the same side, he would give Chu Xiaoyan a little gift. The real potential of the element superhumans like the two girls could be unleashed only when he gives her that profession card. She revealed that it was an ice soul card, and she inquired if he would give it to her just like that when it is worth 2,000 gray crystals. He confirmed that it was already hers. She expressed her gratitude. Yang Qingsu cursed as she wondered how she could kiss her brother openly and if she wanted to be her sister-in-law. And as she realized that she was not okay with that, Yan Yu couldn't believe it and felt puzzled about why she was kind of jealous of her. Chu Xiaoyan merged with the ice soul card. Chu Xiaoyan recalled that Chu Xiaoyan had been saving for her detoxifying potion, and she wouldn't spend a single crystal, but she actually wanted to buy that card long ago. She hadn't expected that Yang Fan would buy that for her, so joining them was indeed a good decision. Chu Xiaoyan stated that she wanted to try her superpower, and he permitted her, telling her to go ahead. She agreed, and said Zhang Zhang is going to be her target, as he bullied them earlier. It was wicked and wondered if it was the power of Ice Soul. Yan Yu mentioned that it was another superhuman, and she is the only one without superpowers on their team at the moment. Yang Fan warned that Chu Xiaoyan shouldn't abuse her superpower, as she hasn't evolved to level 1 yet, so it won't take a few times of using it before it wears her out, and she acknowledged that she got it. He instructed that Chu Xiaoyan should find someone to show him around. He needed to get familiar with the surroundings as soon as possible because they hadn't found Yan Yu's parents yet, and they must hurry up. Chu Xiaoyan agreed, and she could go with him as she has almost recovered thanks to Lin Maiachun's superpower, and she is the most familiar with the surroundings. She gave her thanks to Lin Maiachun, and she responded that she shouldn't mention it, as it is what a doctor should do. Yang Qingsu offered to go as well and requested that he should let her go with him. But he refused and explained that he is going to check the unknown and dangerous surroundings, so she shouldn't follow him, as he has other missions for her. She should check the remaining food in the base, and if there is nothing left, she should share their food in the necklace with everyone because they are already a team. Chu Xiaoyan inquired if they got food and pointed out that the scarcest thing in their base was food because since the apocalypse occurred, they couldn't enter the central Earth City and they have already eaten up things that could be eaten in that area. Yang Qingsu assured her that of course they had and they could eat as much as they wanted. Everyone gushed over the instant noodles and the pickled chicken feet, and they exclaimed that they couldn't recall when the last time they had meat was. Chu Xiaoyan was hypnotized by the food, while Chu Xiaoyan announced that she was hungry. Yang Fan encouraged them to help and stuff themselves, and Chu Xiaoyan should have some food as well, and they will go after she finishes her meal. Everyone ran to dig into the food. In the apocalypse, food is the best tool to win support, and they could also buy food from dealers, but they charge a lot, and dealers are controlled by various organizations, so ordinary people can't get close to them. In the previous life, food was hard-won for ordinary people. Men became slaves, and women had to sell their bodies. Chu Xiaoyan declared that they could go already, as she was full. Yang Fan noticed her pocket. It was what the apocalypse is like. A single chocolate bar could be precious. He instructed that they should go.
Chu Xiaoyun remarked that Earth City had only a single core area, and outside of it the whole place got split into 5 parts by the ring roads, with them standing right at the ragged edge of the 5th. Out of nowhere, a zombie let out a nasty roar and charged at them like a beast gone feral. She stepped up fast and unleashed her flames without a hint of hesitation. The burst was so fierce, it cracked the air with a booming sound, while devouring the creature in fire. She explained in a matter-of-fact tone that near the 5th ring road, most zombies stayed at level 1, but sometimes a level 2 would pop up, and the closer they crept toward the core area, the tougher the zombies they might stumble into. Inside the 3rd ring road, level 2 were just as common as the weaklings, and once in a while, a level 3 lurked around too. Yangfan recalled how Yan Yue had told him that her parents lived inside that dangerous 3rd ring, and that Xiaoao was tucked away in the core itself. He pressed for details about the core, but Xu Xiaoyun admitted she didn't know either, since the farthest she'd ever ventured was only the rim of the 3rd ring. Still, at that rim she had spotted human groups moving in order, not scattered like them, showing discipline and enough grit to wipe out level 2 zombies with no fuss. He tested her by asking what she'd do when facing one of those level 2 threats. She admitted it would still be tricky for her, right when another zombie screamed and lunged at them. She instantly called up her Sunblaze. The strike exploded with a violent blast, but the monster darted away just in time. She barked at Yangfan to duck his head down, but he snapped that she wasn't handling her power right. That fire shouldn't be tossed randomly, and once she lit it, it should kill on release. She gathered herself and hurled another Sunblaze. This time, the explosion smashed true. The zombie shrieked in agony as the fire hit straight on. She realized with a jolt that nailing the target was that simple, and Yangfan's sharp guidance always blindsided her. But he dismissed it, noting that level 1 weren't nearly strong enough. The crystal core popped free from the ruined head. He told her bluntly that she needed to grow stronger fast, since they'd be stepping into the 3rd ring soon, so she should grab it. She found herself wondering if that was really his strength on display, thinking he had dropped a level 2 zombie in just one blow. Moments later, Yang Qingshui piped up, questioning if special training was really needed, insisting she wanted the thrill of going outside, where zombie killing and crystal core collecting felt way more fun. Yangfan countered that Earth City wasn't like the last places they stayed. This city was dangerously sharp-edged, and if they planned to find Yan Yue's parents, they had to prepare for battles. The training, he explained, split into 3 parts, starting with understanding their powers fully, know themselves and their enemies, so they'd never end up in peril, because self-knowledge was both basic and essential. She cut in, saying she already knew her stuff, with her power being space manipulation, letting her teleport away from danger, ferry teammates, and keep herself alive, so she didn't see the point of special drills. He probed further, asking her max teleport range, how often she could pull it off in a short span, and how many she could carry along when shifting space. She admitted she hadn't tested those limits at all. The others realized then that none of them had really measured the finer details of their own abilities, and if those gaps popped up mid-fight, they'd be doomed. Yan Yue, watching in silence, brooded that she was the only one left without a superpower, while even Sinan wielded his own. Yangfan reminded her in a steady tone that she shouldn't get frustrated just because she didn't have a superpower, stressing that the right card for her was still waiting to be uncovered. She then reassured herself with a rush of relief that, sure enough, he hadn't forgotten her, and she clung to the belief that her own superpower would come to light one day. She scolded herself in confusion, realizing they were here how to rescue her parents, yet irritation gnawed at her because she was not one of the superhumans. She steeled herself and decided she had to buck up, because she was still the unmatched sharpshooter, a powerful force in her own right, even without supernatural abilities. Yangfan continued with a practical edge, laying out that the second matter was their physical training, since they couldn't just rely on evolutive potions to raise their strength, and only a stronger body could tilt survival in their favor at the worst moments. He moved on to the 3rd point, which concerned teamwork. Duan Muyi cut in with confidence, claiming that they already knew how to work as a team and pressed if further practice was even necessary. He countered sharply that unlike what they assumed, the teamwork he referred to meant cooperation among 3 randomly grouped members, because their zombie hunts would be conducted in trios, and he wanted them ready to fight with only 2 or 3 left instead of banking on mass numbers. Through different lineups, he explained, Superhumans and ordinary fighters would be forced to work together and cook up tactics that could deal with varying threats head-on. Lin Miaochun frowned and pressed what exactly that meant, asking if they were expected to act separately. He confirmed bluntly that it was exactly that, since they couldn't afford to throw every member at one enemy, and only by spreading risk could they keep their force alive. She conceded inwardly that he had a point because they never knew what kind of foe they would stumble into, but hope remained as long as reinforcements existed. Chu Xiaoyun acknowledged in her thoughts that he had considered things thoroughly, and survival in this world might be possible if they followed his lead. Yang Fan announced with firm finality that if they accepted the plan, their first round of special training would begin that very night, assigning Duan Muyi, Sinan, and Chu Xiaowan as one team, Yan Yue, Lin Miaochun, and Yang Qingsui as another, while Chu Xiaoyun would stay at base managing weapons, equipment, and personnel. Everyone voiced that they understood. Yang Qingsui turned to him and asked what role he would take. Yang Fan replied curtly that he had his own plan. Moments later, with the sun sliding low, the streets caught his lone figure. He weighed silently that while they underwent their training, he had to carry out his own task. So he studied the roads ahead, fixing in mind the quickest path toward the core area. Soon, he reached the edge of the third ring road. He gauged with tense focus that level 3 zombies lurked here, likely alongside mutant beasts. And while Mr. Bao's Hall had given them plenty of supplies, they were only low tier, so upgrading their gear meant hunting down higher level mutants. A thunderous roar from a zombie jolted his senses. Nearby, a group of people clashed with a wild boar, which blasted out a surge of energy to scatter its attackers. Yang Fan marked with sharp interest that this was exactly what he needed, since wild boar tusks made superb material. But the beast immediately locked onto him and redirected its fury toward his presence. It lunged at him with brutal speed just as he was still midair. He braced, recognizing grimly that it was at least a level 3 mutant, dangerous enough to demand his caution. He clenched his sword and whipped the flames around it into a fiercer blaze. He tested in his mind what would happen when a level 2 body wielded a level 4 mutant weapon, and he burned with the urge to uncover the true limit of his strength. The wild boar used its tusk to block his sword. He figured it was at the peak of level 3 and nearly touching level 4, so that beast must have swallowed plenty of its own kind. It aimed to use gravity to ram its tusk through his body, and apparently it had offed many opponents that way, yet he hadn't expected it to show any cunning, and evolving to level 4 would be brutal. He noted that unfortunately it doesn't have that chance. The flame in his sword intensified, and he aimed it towards the wild boar while he drove gravity as the force. Blood spurted out of it as he pierced it with his sword. He pointed out that that sort of move wouldn't land on him because he could tweak his posture just enough to dodge, and he has drilled that motion countlessly in his previous life. He intended to take its crystal core. The wild boar roared loudly as it released a blinding light. It flung its head and sent him flying. He landed safely on the ground and managed to create distance between them. He admitted that it did have the power to loft him before it died, which impressed him, but it was still only a level 3 beast after all. But he grew alarmed when it didn't collapse and instead released a bright light. He observed that it was the light of evolution and that it was pushing toward level 4. He recalled hearing about mutant creatures that could evolve mid-fight from sheer will to live and rage, yet he had not expected to witness one. It howled and roared as its body fizzled. He worried that if it truly became a level 4 mutant, its physical power would spike massively. It would likely gain superpowers, and if that happened, even he would face a bitter brawl. Then again, if he slays it now, he will only get a red crystal. But if he finishes it the moment evolution completes, he will get an orange crystal worth 1,000 reds, and its tusk could forge even higher tier equipment. Suddenly, a rocket launched into the air. It struck the wild boar and detonated. He recognized the rocket launcher and realized someone else was here. Iron Sand declared they were about to make a fortune since that red crystal could be traded for a pile of things. He was with his brother, who had fired the rocket. He insisted politely that it should be his crystal, because he had maimed it badly, and they only grabbed the chance to finish it, so he didn't reckon they should claim the credit. But the brother challenged whether it was his crystal, and warned they should see if he could even walk away alive. He remained unfazed even as a rocket launched toward him. He scoffed that they were courting death. The rocket exploded behind him after he sliced it in half. The men stiffened. Iron Sand scrambled to apologize for his younger brother, calling him reckless and begging forgiveness. but he barged in that they had indeed given the wild boar a killing wound and pushed to split the spoils 40-60. The brother raged that he was insane to offer 40% and snarled that he was alone so they could finish him off together. Yet Iron Sand snapped at him to shut up, and pointing out how he had blocked the rocket, claimed the man looked like a freshly trained master, so offending him would be a disaster. He refused, insisting he will take 80% while they get 20%. The brothers snorted that it was bullcrap and added that they were kind enough to let him have 40, but there was no way they would give 80, while Iron Sand insisted he should be reasonable because that was too much. Young Fan shot back that they stole his prey, and they wanted to take more than half, so he was not the unreasonable one while reckoning that he stalled for quite a long time. But nobody else showed up, so it seems that there were only 2 of them. The brother cursed him, and as he questioned him for daring to take what they wanted to take, he threatened to blow him up, adding that he didn't believe he could block the second rocket. Young Fan lunged forward and jumped towards them. He immediately split the rocket launcher in half before he could attack with it. The brother pointed out that the weapon was not an ordinary thing. Young Fan replied that he knew that, and it was obvious. It was over. But Iron Sand still wore a confident smile on his face. He then activated his Iron Sand barrier. Young Fan pointed out that he could even block his blade, and wondered if he was the level 3 superhuman Iron Sand. Iron Sand declared that he was correct, and since he knew him, he should beg for mercy, because in the area along the outer side of the Third Ring Road, no one dares to offend him like that, but begging for mercy won't save him anymore, as he can't stand people bullying his brother. He then unleashed his Iron Sand Cone sword. Even if he was a warrior newly trained by a large organization, he would have to die there that day. Young Fan judged that he was the top warrior in the outer side area of the Third Ring Road, and he would admit that he was good. Iron Sword flinched in surprise when Young Fan managed to crack his barrier. Young Fan swung his sword again. Iron Sword scoffed that it was a suicide attack and claimed he was not afraid of him. Suddenly, Young Fan's sword impaled him through his chest. He muttered that it was no wonder he didn't even dodge his sword because he got armor. His sword couldn't penetrate through Young Fan's flesh because of the armor. He insisted that, however, his heart could also be turned into Iron Sand, so he can't kill him, and he will die in the end. But Young Fan pointed out that they have to know their opponent's weapons and equipment if they want to survive in the apocalypse, and it is hard for a rash superhuman like him to live that long. He was lucky. Unfortunately, his good luck ran out the moment he met him, and his weapon was much stronger than he assumed. Iron Sword screamed in pain while blood spurted out of his body. Young Fan declared that it was time for him to meet his doom. The brother addressed Iron Sand. Young Fan swung his sword again and landed the finishing blow. He smiled with satisfaction while Iron Sand's blood splattered towards him. But Iron Sword activated his skill before going down. Young Fan was surprised when his blood spurted out of his body in multiple places. Iron Sword cursed, and taunting that he didn't see that coming, he claimed that his spurting blood could be turned into Iron Sand as well, and that he underestimated him. He then breathed his last while his brother called out to him. The brother questioned him for daring to kill his elder brother, and as he cured him, he threatened that he would blow his head off. The brother raised his gun and fired straight at Young Fan with a sharp motion. The bullet tore through the air toward him, but he stayed cool like nothing was happening. He swung his sword fast enough to split the bullet clean in half. Then he darted forward, aiming straight for the brother without hesitation. His blade flashed as he slashed across the brother's torso with a solid hit. The brother dropped hard to the ground, and blood gushed from the fresh wound. Young Fan pulled a healing potion from the ring on his finger with a casual flick. He remarked that it was unexpected to find someone so skilled with abilities in the Third Ring, and figured that to reach the inner ring of Dichuan City, they had to push their strength higher. He noticed there was only one healing potion left, and muttered that the trader would need to restock next time. A short while later, he returned to the base and knocked firmly on the door. Chu Xiaoyun opened it, already thinking it would be someone else. She blinked in surprise when she saw Yang Fan standing there instead. She greeted him and casually asked how many zombies he had run into. He mentioned that it wasn't zombies this time, but a person wielding third-tier powers. She figured he must have fought against a third-order ability user, but noticed his clothes were the only thing torn up. He inquired if the special training team had made it back, and she told him he'd better look for himself. He stepped inside and stopped short when he saw them. They were beaten up badly, covered in wounds and exhaustion. He pressed for what happened and asked where Lin Miaochun was. Chu Xiaowan admitted that Sinan had done it to protect them and claimed the blame was hers. Duan Muyi explained that they had run into two top-tier level 2 zombies, fought like hell to survive, and barely made it. But Sinan got torn up trying to keep them safe. Sinan grinned faintly, saying he wasn't the type to die easily, still feeling lively, and asked Young Fan if he hadn't disappointed him. Young Fan told him straight that he'd done a great job. Then he turned to Duan Muyi and instructed her to hold on to the healing potion. Sinan figured the potion must cost a fortune and remembered how everyone used to treat him like dead weight, fat, slow, and stupid, except Yang Fan, who always treated him decently, so he swore to stick by him for life. Yang Fan told him that once it was pulled out, he could drink the potion to stay alive, and Duan Muyi confirmed she understood. Yang Fan asked if Sinan was ready, and he nodded without hesitation. In one swift move, Yang Fan yanked the steel bar out of his chest before anyone could brace for it. Duan Muyi lunged forward and quickly made him swallow the healing potion. Yang Fan observed that he was stable for now but would still need Lin Miaochun to return for full recovery. Duan Muyi explained that Lin Miaochun and the others had headed northeast, but since it was nearly 3 in the morning, they should have been back by now. Yang Fan frowned and muttered that he feared they might have run into trouble. Yang Fan remarked that he would go look for them and told them to take good care of Sinan, while Duan Muyi responded with agreement. When he stepped outside, he instantly ran into 2 zombies. He swung his sword with sharp precision, cutting them down like they were nothing. He figured that Yan Yue liked to act tough, but with her sister's blessing and Lin Miaochun's powers, the 3 should have escaped easily, meaning there was only one explanation. Out of nowhere, a thick scent of blood hit his nose. He figured someone must be fighting nearby. The next moment, he spotted familiar faces. Yan Yue remarked that the opponents had actually spread poison while fighting the zombies. The boss's brother corrected her, saying it wasn't poison, but his ability, rosemary, and that they were only unconscious, not dead. While the boss declared he'd advise the pretty girl and her 2 friends to follow him instead. He added that those 3 white crystals and the gun in her hand could serve as a dowry, promising to treat her well from then on. She snapped that he was dreaming and that she'd never be with scumbags like them. But the boss had a shield protecting him, and it absorbed her bullet easily. He barked at his men to start firing and take them down. Yan Yue tensed up, realizing she could dodge normal bullets, but her companions couldn't. If she hadn't been greedy for credit and chased those 3 Tier 2 zombies into the 3rd ring area, she wouldn't have run into this mess, and if she kept pushing blindly, it'd only end in death. She told him to wait, saying she wanted to gamble. She proposed a one-on-one duel with no weapons and no interference, promising that if she won, he'd let her friends go, but if he won, he could do whatever he wanted. She added that he could also refuse and shoot right now. Her friends would die, but so would his subordinates. The boss paused, weighing her words. At the same time, Yang Fan figured that Yan Yue had been one of the unmatched elites in her previous life, and this was a perfect chance to temper her. So he held back. One of the men jeered that she was too arrogant, asking if she really wanted to challenge their boss, while the boss, amused, agreed to the fair duel. Moments later, the arena was cleared. The boss asked if she was ready and said he couldn't wait to begin. Yan Yue announced that she was ready to strike. He smirked, bragging that in that region, Lao Tzu ranked 2nd in hand-to-hand combat, and no one dared claim 1st, so she might as well die. But she coolly replied that even if he was number 1, she wouldn't care. She dodged his punch with quick precision and slammed a blow into his ribs. He mocked her, asking if she was just scratching him. He then smashed a punch straight into her face. She grimaced as she hit the ground hard. He taunted that such a beautiful girl should surrender because, even if both were Tier 2, strength had its hierarchy, and she admitted to herself that he was overwhelming. He bragged that everyone's physical capacity varied, and that with the boost from the evolutionary potion, the gap widened fast. His power at least tripled hers. All of a sudden, Yang Fan called out, reminding Yan Yue that she couldn't match him in brute force, but she had her own edge. The boss demanded to know who he was and barked that he shouldn't meddle. The brother snarled that since he dared to interrupt his brother, he'd crush him. Yan Yue's shoulders eased slightly when she caught sight of Yang Fan. The boss sneered that since her friend had shown up, they'd better finish this quickly. She pondered what Yang Fan had meant about her having advantages. The boss roared that she should just die already, but to his shock, she vanished in a blur. She declared that this, speed, was her advantage. The boss flinched for a moment, stunned that she moved so fast her body split into several flickering copies. But he steadied himself quickly and curved his lips with a smug grin. He met her flurry of strikes head on, not even bothering to dodge. He mocked her speed, claiming it was worthless since her hits felt like a light scratch. But then she drove her knee right into his groin. She teased that every man had a weak spot, and clearly he wasn't special. He snarled and barked that she'd hit his egg, calling her a vicious woman. She fired back that this fight was far from finished. She twisted her hips and swept her leg in another sharp kick. She warned him bluntly to get lost. The boss shrieked in pain, red spilling from his lips as he doubled over. His lackeys rushed in, shouting if he was still breathing right. Yan Yue figured the guy's body was absurdly thick and sturdy, but a precise strike could crack him. Still, maintaining extreme acceleration strained even enhanced beings. She owed a quiet thanks to Yang Fan. She wondered in passing how he would ever show affection. Meanwhile, Yang Fan guessed that the scarred brute hadn't even gone all out. He wasn't limited to just evolutionary chi. The boss suddenly grumbled that he hadn't expected a little girl like her to handle two separate techniques, saying even he might have tripped up. But the duel decided whether he'd make it back in time for Sanfei's grand affair that night. He decided to stop holding back. His form warped, turning into something feral. She froze for a beat, startled, but the beastly face resembled a goofy dog, totally ruining the menace. She couldn't hold back a quick laugh at the sight. He growled that he loathed people laughing at him, so he changed his plan. He'd simply soar through the air and finish her, and she'd die right here. She noted how insanely fast he'd become, the transformation giving him another boost. He flashed a sharp grin her way. He taunted whether she really thought dodging one attack meant she could dodge the next, bragging his speed had tripled. She slammed hard against the wall. She realized that power ramped up his speed exponentially. He sneered that it was about time to send her spirit off for rebirth. He clamped a hand around her throat. He promised she didn't need to panic since he'd keep her body warm afterward. She realized that if the punch landed, she'd die for sure, and she wondered numbly if this was how it ended. Her mind spun back to childhood when her trembling hands had slipped. She remembered thinking she'd fall to her death, and she shouldn't have blamed her coach. She should have worn the harness and the safety rope. Then someone yelled that a person was climbing without a safety rope. Another shouted what that person was trying to pull. Was he actually going up there to rescue her? Yan Yue pressed her father if he had come to save her, but he replied that since she chose to climb without any protective gear, she had to face the weight of that decision herself. She was told to climb to the very top and keep going. She declared that she would never regret what she chose. Now, back in the present, she resolved to give everything she had. She still had companions depending on her, and losing was simply not an option. She retaliated fast, hooking her legs around the boss's arm. Using her full weight, she yanked hard enough to throw him off balance. He barked if such a move even existed. Meanwhile, Yang Fan registered that he truly hadn't misjudged her. No one capable of becoming a peerless powerhouse in any lifetime could ever be foolish. Back in the clash, Yan Yue twisted with raw strength and snapped the boss's arm. He shouted that she should release him and spat that he wanted her dead, but she launched off the ground, dodging his brutal swing. She warned that the second arm would go next. Another sharp crack filled the air. He howled from the pain and she seized a blade. She announced that he had lost. He stammered that she shouldn't strike, claiming he already surrendered. She replied that he could collect his wager and should let them walk free. He groaned his consent, begging her to loosen her grip. She wondered briefly if Yang Fan would despise her for using such a sly tactic to win. Yang Fan then addressed her. He remarked that she had done well. Tears slid down her face as she smiled. She thanked him softly. The boss suddenly snarled that she would die. She flinched in alarm. A splash of blood followed. Yang Fan declared that she belonged to him, and it wasn't their place to decide her fate. The boss whimpered, pleading with him to stop, but Yang Fan clenched tighter around his sword. He told him not to beg because the moment he had spoken to her, his fate was sealed. One man shouted that their boss was dead. Another yelled that they should flee, and the brother cried that his big brother had been killed by that strange monster. He demanded how that could even happen. Yan Yue snapped that the dwarf wielded supernatural power capable of stunning others, and he was the reason for their danger. So Yang Fan should move fast. The brother instantly declared that Yang Fan was the new boss since in their fourth ring, whoever killed the boss automatically claimed all his materials and crew. But Yang Fan dismissed him, saying he had no need for more brothers and should just leave. The brother pressed if he truly didn't plan to kill him, and grumbled that since he'd slain the boss, someone like him with such useless skill might not even find food to eat. Chen Yu called Yang Fan his boss and begged him to take him in under his wing. Yan Yue remarked that he was their enemy. Yang Fan muttered that since he could use the rosemary profession, he might actually help him out during the fight against Xiao Ao. He then warned that he would take him in, but if he ever tried to betray him, he'd erase his existence from that world. Chen Yu promised to remember that kindness and thanked him. Yang Fan told him to wake the others first, and Chen Yu agreed without hesitation. Out of nowhere, Yan Yue pressed Yang Fan about what he was doing, and he shot back, wondering if she was sure she could walk back to camp after everything that just happened. She insisted that she could. She mumbled that even if she was exhausted, she still wanted to prove she was strong and dependable to him. But then, she went down flat on the ground. She murmured that it was over as she lost all composure. He teased if she already wanted him to carry her. He told her to stop being so stubborn and just let him help. Once Chen Yu woke Lin Miaochun, she'd heal her instantly. Chen Yu activated his skill. Lin Miaochun and Yang Qingshui stirred awake. Yang Fan checked if they were conscious. Yang Qingshui wondered why they'd been asleep and if they weren't supposed to be chasing zombies, while Lin Miaochun mentioned the last thing she remembered was a weird smell of rosemary. Chen Yu pleaded for forgiveness and admitted it was his power that made them sleep. Yan Yue reassured that everything was fine now. They'd killed 3 Tier 2 zombies and secured the crystal core, and Yang Qingshui exclaimed that they'd actually pulled it off. She then turned to her brother, demanding why he was even there. He replied that he was just checking their training progress and that Guy would be joining them as a teammate from now on. Chen Yu commented that it figured she was his boss's little sister. No wonder she was so cute, like a goddess. Lin Miaochun muttered that Yan Yue was injured, meaning she must have fought while they were unconscious, and Chen Yu was probably one of the enemies Yang Fan handled. They were still green, so they needed tougher training, just like he'd mentioned. Yang Fan froze when his ring suddenly flared with a light. Yan Yue asked what was going on, and he told her something was out there. He murmured that the ring hadn't reacted before, but a traitor had just appeared. Maybe a rare random traitor. He instructed Lin Miaochun to treat Yan Yue and Yang Qingshui fast, while Chen Yu would stand guard as he went to investigate. Chen Yu affirmed with a grin that anyone wanting to harm those ladies would have to walk over his corpse, and Lin Miaochun muttered that it was going to be a headache. Yang Qingshui announced she was going with Yang Fan since she could back him up if anything unexpected happened. He questioned if she was sure she could protect him, and she declared she'd gotten a lot stronger. He murmured that it had been a long time since he'd spent any time with her, and though she seemed fine, she must be worn down inside from the apocalypse. So he decided to take her along this time. He told her to cut it out. He wasn't going to ditch her, so she didn't need to worry, and she answered softly that she knew. The two headed toward the building together. Yang Fan instructed her to stay quiet since there might be zombies or monsters around, and Yang Qingshui agreed. He then pushed open the door to one of the rooms. He murmured that it really was a random traitor. Yang Qingshui asked why that one looked different from the others they'd seen. He explained that it was because a random traitor appears unpredictably and only sticks around for 5 minutes. Yang Qingshui remarked that she didn't expect there to be such a traitor and wondered if he had the same kind of ability as her. He replied that it should just show him the deals directly. She pressed on how she managed to get inside and mentioned what it looked like in there. He told her only those carrying crystal cores could enter, which meant she had probably hidden some from him again. She explained that those were what she had gotten from hunting that day. He narrowed his gaze and asked if that was really the case. He then asked if she wanted something, noting that there were some skills available there. She pointed out one and asked if that was it. He mentioned that mechanic was a rare profession card. She asked whether it was a good skill, and he replied that it was the one best suited for Yan Yue. They didn't have much time left. She agreed and said they should give it to her, since she'd definitely be thrilled to see it. The trader informed her that the trade had ended, and she was abruptly forced out. She blinked and asked how she got out. She muttered that it was freezing and told her brother to come out quickly. Meanwhile, Yang Fan muttered that people would be automatically forced out of the trading space once a deal finished with a random trader, and he noted that the ring's refresh skill hadn't been used that week, so he'd test it later. He could hardly believe what he saw. It was so dark, he couldn't make anything out. Then he spotted the level 4 transmission earring and wondered if it was auxiliary gear. He explained that with it, one could talk to others within a 100 square kilometer radius. And those things were top-tier tech and incredibly rare. Over on the other side, Yang Qingshui asked if that room was some kind of library. She bent down and picked a book off the floor. She blew the dust from the cover, which made her cough. She squinted and asked if it was mathematics. She murmured that she had almost forgotten she used to be an ordinary college student just a few months ago. All those days on campus, she really missed them. Yang Fan suddenly called out to her and told her it was time to go. She stopped and asked if she could ask him something. She wondered if it was possible to travel back in time. He murmured that she had asked him the same thing in his previous life, but back then he had been helpless and couldn't answer. Things had changed, though, and he told her to trust him. If they could just survive, there would still be hope. She said she believed him, so they would survive together and wait for that day to come. He told her they should head back since Yan Yue and the others were still waiting. The two of them stepped out of the building. Yang Qingshui teased Yang Fan, asking if he could guess how Yan Yue would react when she saw that profession card. She then caught his expression and asked what was wrong, but he told her to keep quiet. Meanwhile, Lin Miaochun mentioned that she had been hurt too badly back then, and reminded that she was a girl, so she shouldn't try to be tough next time. Just run if she couldn't fight. Yan Yue replied that she understood. Chen Yu declared that they didn't have to worry because he would protect them. Yang Qingshui glanced at Yang Fan and asked if they weren't going to help, and he replied that they should wait since Chen Yu had only just joined, and he wanted to see if he'd betray them later on. Lin Miaochun used her ability to patch up Yan Yue's wounds. Yan Yue checked if she was okay, and she replied that she was already feeling much better, suggesting they take things slower for a while. Lin Miaochun brushed it off, saying it was fine, but later she would have to depend on her to keep them safe, since no one knew what kind of enemies might show up. Chen Yu admitted it was his fault, saying if their gang hadn't attacked, none of this would have happened. Yan Yue told him there was no need to apologize because he was just following orders. And honestly, even if he killed her, it would have been because she wasn't strong enough. He urged her not to say that, warning that if Yang Fan heard it, he'd torture him to death. Then he mentioned that her accent sounded familiar and wondered if she was from Dichuan City. She confirmed it, explaining they came back to find her parents and used to live in the second ring. He remarked that some people still survived in the second ring, but they were all incredibly strong, while the rest were gone. She admitted she knew they were probably dead, but she refused to give up, even if there was only a 1 in 10,000 chance of finding them. Then something clicked in his head. He muttered that her surname was Yan, same as Yan Lei, the leader of the Scarlet Rose organization known as Thunder God, wondering if that was just coincidence. He pressed her for her father's name. She replied that her dad was named Yan Lei and questioned why he wanted to know. He asked if her father was Thunder God, and she looked puzzled, asking who that was. He told her it was Yan Lei, her father, and said the man was one of the strongest in Dichuan City, possibly even among the top 3. Yang Qingshui chimed in, curious if her father was really that incredible. Yang Fan muttered that Yan Yue's life sure had taken a turn since in his previous life she was well known, but her parents hadn't been this powerful, so clearly the world had changed. Yan Yue mentioned her dad was a veteran anyway and she believed he'd survive, though she never expected him to become so powerful. Chen Yu said he had a picture of him because some people in Dichuan City were too dangerous to cross, and he'd gathered photos of them so she could check if one was her father. She instantly recognized the man in the photo. She thanked God, relieved that she had finally found him. She murmured that the trip to Dichuan City had been worth it since she'd finally tracked them down. Meanwhile, Chen Yu mused that he used to think Yang Fan was the strongest in their team, but it turned out there was someone even more formidable, the Thunder God's daughter. Yang Qingshui suddenly called out that they had returned. Yang Fan stated that since they had found Yan Yue's father, it was time to move on to Plan B. Yan Yue asked what that meant. He explained they would switch to battle mode and head into the second ring to find her father. Lin Miaochun stared at him and asked if he was serious, pointing out they couldn't even approach the inner area of the third ring right now. Chen Yu warned that the second ring wasn't like the fourth, it was crawling with the level 2 zombies and even tier 3 and tier 4 ones, along with mutant plants and beasts, so going in there was basically suicide. Yang Fan replied that he knew, but those powerful people stayed in the second ring for a reason. It was packed with resources and ideal for improving one's skills. He muttered that he also wanted to get close to Xiao Ao, unsure how strong that guy had become. And since he was both gifted and well-backed, it would be smarter to take him out before he got any stronger. Yan Yue told him she understood his urgency to meet her father, but they should hold off a bit longer. Yang Fan agreed, noting Sinan was injured too, so they should rest first to increase their odds of success. Yang Qingshui congratulated Yan Yue for finding her dad and mentioned she had a gift ready for her. She handed over a card and Yan Yue blinked, asking if it was really for her. She thanked her and Yang Qingxue replied that she was welcome and that it was her brother who'd said the machinist class suited her best. Yan Yue murmured that he had truly kept his promise, so she would make sure to repay his kindness someday.